Production Twins practice will be coming up next. These are scheduled to be 5-lap sessions. And there's the green flag for the 36th, the Flying Tomato Colby Carlisle. Davis Fisher goes up the racetrack. He's second on the track behind Carlisle. Carlisle gets a little bit sideways. Had a good run at the Atlanta Super TT. Carlisle did his best finish of his career with a 5th place at the Atlanta Super TT. So Carlisle will bring him up to turn number 4. Behind him is the 67 of Fisher. There's the 43 of James the Rocket Rispoli, the only Harley-Davidson XG 750 in the Super Twins class. A couple of Yamahas and a bunch of Indians out here in the Premier class. The Mission Super Twins presented by S&S. Breyer still has the quickest time so far, 2:0.354 in this session. Again, this is just practice, but they're getting everything dialed in. First time the bikes have been on the track this weekend. Warm Larry Pegram out there on that number 72 bike, currently in the 13th spot. 13 entries here today in the Super Twins class. White flag is out for the 36th, Colby Carlisle. On the screen, that was the 43 of James Rispoli. They come across the start-finish line area. '72, Larry Pegram. Leader gets a little bit sideways going into turn 1. Looks like he went in a lot lower than anybody else. And the checkered flag comes out from Big P, our flagman. There's the checkered flag for Carlisle, Fisher, Brandon Price, Robbie Pearson, Rispoli, and the 72 of Larry Pegram. After that practice session, after groups 1 and 2, our fast time here in practice is a 2:0.354 for Breyer Bauman, 2:0.354. Up next, we'll switch gears just a little bit and move on over into the AFT Production Twins presented by Benson Hines. In the practice and qualifying sessions, they do come out according to their point standings. And the 65, the 2019 winner out here at the Texas Half Mile, will lead him out. He's our current points leader. Corey Texter will be on the 65 G&G Yamaha. 49 is Chad Coast. The 62 is Dan Brumley. 79, Dalton Gauthier. Gauthier and the Boswell's Harley-Davidson. 68, Revan Ryan Varnes. 25 is Ben Lau. 10 is Johnny Lewis on the Royal Enfield. The 31, that's Dylan Bell on the Harley XG 750. The 64 is Danny Eslick, the 4-time Daytona 200 winner. And the 44, that's Cameron Smith. Those are the bikes scheduled to be out in group number 1. 19 riders have signed up today for the AFT Production Twins class. They get that first lap under yellow. First lap under yellow, the green flag wave next time by. This is practice, group number 1 for the Production Twins. Corey Texter is glad to be coming back here. He won here. The only time Production Twins have raced here was in 2019, and Corey Texter was your winner. Barnes was second. Colby Carlisle, who was just out in that last group, was third. Again, Carlisle has moved up into the Super Twins class now. Johnny Lewis in the second spot on the track. Down the back straightaway, it's Corey Texter on the 65, pulling away just a little bit. Good battle for that second and third spot on the racetrack. The 10 is Johnny Lewis on the Royal Enfield. Behind him is the 62 of Dan Bromley. And chasing him is the 79 of Dalton Gauthier. Johnny Lewis with a quick time so far in Production Twins, 2:1.857 for the Royal Enfield. Danny Eslick off the pace down here on the front straightaway. He's going to pull up out of harm's way. Eslick having troubles with his number 64 Kawasaki. White flag coming out for the leader. Corey Texter, the 65 Yamaha. Johnny Lewis on the 10 Royal Enfield. Dan Bromley also on a Yamaha, the 62. Dalton Gauthier, the 79 on the Harley-Davidson. Again, this is just practice for folks tuning in worldwide, watching the race. Johnny Lewis quickest here in this first session, 2:1.857. Dalton Gauthier second, Ben Lau's third, Corey Texter back there in fifth, our 2019 winner, and slide Dylan Bell up to back to fifth as Corey Texter moves into that fourth position. Checkered flag is out for group number 1, and the last bike to take the checkered is the 44 of Cameron Smith. Quick time so far here in Production Twins practice is Johnny Lewis, the Royal Enfield number 10. 21.857. Group number 2 should roll up the hill here in just a second. They're actually pitting, and the staging area is at the bottom of the hill after they exit turn number 2. 42 is Jeremiah Duffy. The 45, Shelby Miller. 50 is Jimmy McAllister. The 60 is Nick Armstrong. 71, Pat Buchanan. And Pat is on a new ride. He's got some sponsorship from on a Harley-Davidson out here. So Buchanan's got a new ride for this weekend. Pat Buchanan's on the 71 bike. 276 is Brian LaFelt. 117, Jordan Harris. The 22 is Mitch Harvitt. And the 15 is Gary Ketchum. As they start rolling up onto the racetrack, here they come now, entering the track. They will enter and exit the track outside of turn number 2. As it looks like they're going 3 wide down the back straightaway just for a moment, getting it sorted out. Shelby Miller puts the 45, Kawasaki out in front. Look at this big group of riders. Here they come. I think they need to use practice for practice and get a little spread out, but these guys are all grouped together. Shelby Miller on that 45 bike is in the lead of this group, but he's got a lot of company right behind him. 117, Jordan Harris off the pace here on the starting line. Tough break for him. He's actually a miner. He's a coal miner. He works the mine fields during the week just to go racing on the weekends. New rider up the inside, the 42, Jeremiah Duffy, goes to the front spot. This is just practice. Production twins out here at Texas Motor Speedway. Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems. Duffy's going to bring the group off of turn number 4. Nick Armstrong on the 60 bike has moved into second place on the racetrack. Pat Buchanan moves up to 9th here in this practice time. Gary Ketchum on the 15. There's Jordan Harris, got the bike up to speed now. He's at the back of the pack. Leader brings him off of turn number 4, coming back this way. The 42, Jeremiah Duffy. Duffy from Indiana. 60 bike, Nick Armstrong from California. Riders starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, get a little bit faster each time out. Each lap also. There's the 22 of Harvitt. 15 is Ketchum. 117 now up to speed is Jordan Harris. And the leader's going to come off of turn number 4, back this direction on the front straightaway. There's the white flag for the 42 bike, Jeremiah Duffy. Nick Armstrong, 71 up there, third spot. This is his first time out there on that XG 750s. Pat Buchanan, he's the third bike on the racetrack. Johnny Lewis still in the top spot. 21.857. 21.857 for Johnny Lewis. And the checkered flag coming out here for group number 2 of the AT Production Twins presented by Vance & Hines. Johnny Lewis still has your quick time on the number 10, Royal Enfield. They made their way onto the circuit at the Williams Grove half mile not too long ago, and it's been getting faster every time out. Up next, AFT singles schedule to come out. Looks like there are 3 groups, 33 total entries here in the AFT singles class. Some of the best racing we've had all season long has been the AFT singles class. Group number 1, Dallas Daniels will lead them out on the number 1 bike. 15 is Mikey Rush, those 2 on the Estenson Racing Yamahas. 52, Shayna Texter Bauman, the winner of round number 1 and round number 2. Shayna Texter Bauman on the 52 bike. 13 is Max Whale. 38, Tanner Dean. 17 is Henry Wiles. 105 is Brandon Kitchen. 21, Trevor Bruner. 13, Morgan Mishler. 48, Trent Lowe. And the 54 is Michael Anderbitson. Singles on the racetrack out in front. The Estenson Yamahas first and second place on the racetrack. Here they come off of 4. Dallas Daniels will bring it back this direction. Daniels on the number 1 bike, your 2020 AFT singles champion. Behind him, his teammate, Mikey Rush on the 15 bike down the back straightaway. Shayna Texter Bauman back there in the 3rd spot. She got married in the offseason. If you're new to flat track, she married Briar Bauman. And Daniels goes up the racetrack, and Mikey Rush comes on through. Rush to the top spot on the track. Trent Lowe's got the quickest lap. That didn't take very long. Now Mikey Rush goes to the head of the class, 2:1.833. Last time by was the quickest lap for the 15 bike, 2:1.833 for Mikey Rush. Rush from California. Dallas Daniels has been staying out there with him and training with him. It's worked good for both of them. They've been running up front every weekend here on the 2021 season, the 15 and the 1 bike. Max Whale up there making his way towards the front, chasing his teammate, Shayna Texter-Bauman. Behind him is the 17 of Henry Wiles. Behind Whale is Wiles. There's a good look at Henry Wiles on the Turner Racing Honda. Leaders coming towards the white flag. Right now it's the 15 of Mikey Rush. Still quick time so far in this practice session. 2:1.833. Not too bad for Mikey Rush. And on the front straightaway, the number 15 taking that checkered flag. There's Mikey Rush, Dallas Daniels, Shayna Texter-Bauman, Maxwell, Henry Wiles, the Dean Machine, Tanner Dean on the 38, the 13 Morgan Mishler, Trevor Bruner on the 21, and the rest of the gang across that finish line area. That was group number 1 of our AFT singles. Up next is group number 2. 143, Cody Kopp. 51 is Cole Zabala. 19, James Ott. His best finish was here, actually, in Texas Motor Speedway. Got a 3rd place finish, his first time out as a pro. 94 is Ryan Wells. 99, Kevin Stallings. The 11 is Andrew Luker. 175, Terrence Santero. 26 is Aiden Roos-Evans. 90 is Brandon Newman. 298, that is Sweet Heat Trent Pickle. And the 55, Tyler Raggio. That's group number 2. They'll be rolling onto the racetrack. This is practice group number 2 of the AFT singles class. There are 3 groups in this class with 33 total entries here today at the Texas Half Mile. First time on the racetrack for these riders. 143, Hot Rod Cody Kopp leads the field into turn number 1. Morgan Mishler actually is in the top spot. He has the quick time of that last session. The time's just updated up here in the booth. Morgan Mishler, now your fast time out here in practice with a 2:1.684. 2:1.684. Morgan Mishler is actually the dark horse for me to win this one. Not favored to come in to win this one, but he is on my list of possible winners here at the Texas Half Mile. 26 of Roos Evans across the start-finish line. That is the Waters Auto Body NKR. Those 2 teams have teamed up this year. This is the last group. There's a pass right there. Wells goes by one of the riders. Look, there's one rider having trouble off the pace in turn number 1. He'll take it back to the attention of his crew. Cody Kopp, the 143, leading this group, is the 2nd fast time out here in this practice session. There he is on the start-finish line. 143 moves into 2nd place, 2:1.820 on the speed charts. There are 3 groups of singles out here this weekend. One more lap to go in this 2nd group. Cody Kopp, 2:1.820 a couple laps ago. Last time Bob was a 2:1.873, so he's really consistent on that 143 Honda. It's the Jones Honda bike. And there's your leader. Checkered flag is out for the 51 right here. Cole Zabala getting that checkered flag. Zabala on the Turner Racing Honda. We've got a suite up here, upstairs in the higher level. Terrence Santero, the 175 across the finish line. There's a good look at Big P, our flag man. 90 is Newman. One more rider coming around. It's the 51 of Cole Zabala. Up next, group number 3 of the AFT singles class, 243. It's the Jet, Jared Lowe. 124 is Hunter Bauer. 109 is Billy Ross. 156, Jordan Jean. 133 from Tulsa, Oklahoma is David Wiggin. 121, Jacob Cassio. 135, Ezra Brusky. 101, Grant Holmes in his first pro race. 103 is Michael Hill. 182 is Travis Petton, also his first race. And the 229, Noah Miller. So some new faces out here in this final group. They come out according to the point standings, so some of these riders have not made main events, and some of the riders just do not have any points yet with us here in American Flat Track. This is group number 3 of the AFT singles, the final group. 124, Hunter Bauer out there in the lead from the Canadian rider. Bauer on the NKR KTM. Hunter Bauer, they call him Showtime. Cassio is also out there on the 121 making his debut with us here in the 2021 season. There's a Suzuki rider going into turn number 1. This is his first race. That's Grant Holmes from California on the RMZ 450. There's a big group of riders over there in turn number 2 now on the back straightaway. But the leaders coming off of turn number 4 back onto the front straightaway. There's the freight train on the screen right now if you're watching the big Jumbotron. The mobile view screen. I like seeing the new riders come out here and give it a go with American Flat Track. And the timing screen updated again after that last lap of that last group. Mishler still in the top spot, 21.684. 21.684 to Mishler with our quick time so far. And the white flag is out right there for your leader, the 124 Hunter Bauer. And the rest of the group coming across the start-finish line. One more lap to go. We'll take all these riders straight into a semifinal, and out of the AFT single semifinal, we will take the top 8 to the main event. Checkered flag is out for your leader, 124 Hunter Bauer. Bauer currently in the 16th spot here in this practice session. Again, the times are being recorded just so the teams can go back and make changes to their motorcycle. Travis Petton out there, the 182 in his first go with American Flat Track, currently 11th, 182 up to 11th, 22.042. Morgan Mishler had the quick time out here in this practice session, 21.684. Kopp was second, Mikey Rush is third, Michael Inderbitzen is fourth, Max Whale, the Australian rider, is fifth. And that's your top 5 after practice round number 1 of the AFT singles class. We got an added class out here this weekend. It is the Bultaco Astro Invitational. 14 entries out here today. They will have some qualifying and some practice, and then they'll have one main event. They will all go to the main. But they got to come out here on their Bultaco Astro 360s. The 12 bike, let's see, is Joey Rayburn. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana. 27, Shannon Slocum. Shannon from Slaughter, Louisiana. 18, that is Justin Young from McKinney, Texas. 29 is Ron Johnson. 78, that is Scott Scherr from Decatur, Texas. 32, Jackie Mitchell. Jackie is from Bedford, Indiana. And the 64, that is Charlie Roberts. So here they come. The Bultacos are on the racetrack. They're 360 cc's, 2-stroke engines. These were the bikes to have if you want to go fast, especially on a short track back in the 70s. This is their first lap out here, the Bultaco Astros. Sometimes you can hear a little different noise when they go into the corners. That is the compression release. Some of those riders choose to use that to help slow down for the corners. 12 bike out in front is Rayburn. Charlie Roberts has the quick time so far in that first lap, 23.729. His teammate Jackie Mitchell right behind him on the 32 bike. Justin Young is third on the 18 bike as Charlie Roberts goes into the lead down into turn number 3. Now in turn number 4, coming back this way, it's Charlie Roberts out front, the 64 bike. The 12 now in second, Joey Rayburn. Justin Young third. Rayburn moves up to fourth. Scott Scherb slides back one spot to fifth. This is just practice. We got 2 bikes a little bit off the pace. They're down here in turn number 3 and 4. And the leader's closing in on those 2 right now. Charlie Roberts will get through the traffic. Splits one around the outside, one around the inside. Two bikes just a little bit off the pace. One of them's going to take it back to the pit area. Charlie Roberts' his fastest lap was the last time by, 22.873. Even though he was in lap traffic, didn't seem to bother him. White flag is out for Flash. Charlie Roberts, that time by was a 23.178. One more lap to go in this practice session. There's the 72 bike across the start-finish line. White Campbell from Baker, Louisiana. And checkered flag is out. 32 and the 12. Charlie Roberts took the checkered flag. He's already taken it back to the pit area. His quick time out here in practice is a 22.873. 22.873 for the 64 Charlie Roberts. One more bike to take the checkered flag. And then up next will be group number 2 of the Bultaco Astro Invitational class. Group number 2 will be led out by the 89 of Kevin Barnes from Milton, Pennsylvania. 93 is Greg Scalf, Arlington, Nebraska. 72 is Wyatt Campbell from Baker, Louisiana. 14 is Jim Stump. Stump is from Alpharetta, Georgia. 23 is Lance Jones. They call him Pop Pop. He's from Anderson, South Carolina. 44 is Jerry Lacey. I think he was supposed to be in that last group. And then the 65 of Zeisler. So it looks like they may have ran most of them together. We're seeing if there's another group. Big P's out there, our flagman. He's got that green flag ready. So maybe they got misorganized over there, but there's supposed to be 2 separate groups waiting on the group number 2 out here. The Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems. All right, they're rolling up the hill right now. The second group of our Bultaco Astro Invitational class. Those bright yellow leathers, that is Varnes out there, he's the second generation flat tracker. His son is racing in the production twins class. He is the third generation flat tracker, so it looks like only 3 of them making it out. Here they come. All right. As the second group out here in the Bultaco Astros are on the track, let's go down and meet the second member of the team, Kristen B. Kristen, what's happening? Down the back straightaway is group number 2. Looks like only a few of them showed up. Only 3 of them are out there, but this is the second group. In the first round of practice. There's the 23, Lance Jones out front. All right, it's these Bultacos are out there getting some seat time. Let's go down and let's try Kristen Beat again. Kristen, how you doing?
Thanks so much, Scotty. We're just working through the things back here, but
leader off of turn number 4, it's the 23 bike. 23 bike out in front. Lance Jones leads the way. Lance currently out there on the racetrack on the 23 bike up to third place, 23.617. Also on the track, Kevin Barnes. He's back there in 8th. Kevin's really strong. Normally that bike doesn't look like it's up to full snuff just yet. They might go back there and make a few changes. The white flag is out for Lance Jones. Here comes the 9-3. Whoa, hang on, Greg. Greg just about came off that motorcycle right there. That's Greg Scalf. 89 of Varnes definitely having a little mechanical issue on his Bultaco. Leaders on the back straightaway for the final time. Big P pulls out that checkered flag out of his back pocket. This is going to wrap up our entire first round of practice. There is the checkered flag for Lance Jones. All right. There's the 9-3 of Scalf and the 89 of Varnes. Let's go down and meet the third member of the announcing crew. It's the host of the ball, Ricky Rackman. Ricky, what's going on?
Well, thank you, Scotty. Let me tell you something. I've been keeping an eye on the radar, keeping an eye on looking at weather. Everything to me right now looks good. I'm feeling positive. I think we're going to get a fast track tonight, and I think we're going to get some great racing, and I don't think weather is going to be an issue. I wouldn't quote me on that, but that's just what I'm feeling right now.
Are you a part-time weatherman?
Only at home. Thank you, Scotty Dubler.
That's Ricky Rackman. You met him back on MTV on Headbangers Ball, now host of the ball. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's qualifying time coming up at 5 o'clock.
On Saturday, May 29th, Progressive American Flat Track is coming to Chicago.
You can see how bad these guys want it.
The Dirt Oval at Route 66 is hosting all the action as the world's fastest dirt track racers roar into town to battle bar to bar for victory.
Whoa, they come together. Unbelievable.
The Chicago Half Mile on Saturday, May 29th at the Dirt Oval at Route 66. Get your tickets now at dirtoval66.com. Yeah!
Racetrack has turned out, AJ. It is incredible. They can run high, low, middle, anywhere they want. We're talking 8 riders in contention for this right now. The final corner awaits. Look at the track. Briar Bauman's going to have to use the track. Briar Bauman wins 2 years in a row here at Williamsburg.
The darkness is full of demons, hazy creatures who lurk in the shadows, prowling under the cloak of dusk. But we're not demons. We're beasts.
DCT is an automatic transmission. You heard it right. The Honda DCT is a fully automatic transmission. For a motorcycle, it'll shift faster than you can at the right time, right speed, and right RPM. And when you want to shift for yourself, use paddle shifters mounted on the left handlebar. Take a DCT demo on a new Honda Africa Twin and other available models. Schedule your DCT demo right now at Al Lamb's Dallas Honda.
Tired of replacing your battery every year? It's time to buy the world's best lithium battery, the Pulse IPT, with up to 1,200 cranking amps and unmatched reliability. There's no better battery for your bike. Visit Full Spectrum Power in the paddock today or on Instagram, Facebook, and the web. Start something. Power everything.
Kicker Performance Audio is the official sound system of American Flat Track. Kicker's fully stocked line of products includes speakers, amplifiers, and subwoofers for your car and truck stereo systems, as well as those for your boat, side-by-side, and touring motorcycle. Kicker also makes Bluetooth outdoor speakers, over-ear headphones, and earbuds to pair with your favorite mobile device. To learn more or find a dealer, visit kicker.com. Hold on to your burritos because things are about to get too fast, too tasty. Mission Foods is a proud sponsor of the AFT Super Twins. Add Mission to your race-watching snacks for mouth-watering race day flavors. Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs throughout America. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/progressive to see how much you could save.
The rookies of '79 are former racers and champions of the sport who reunited in 2009 to form the official charity for American Flat Track. 10 years and over $1.7 million raised for our injured racers. Visit rookies79.com to see how you can help.
S&S Cycle was born from a passion for racing and has spent over 60 years building high performance for the power sports market. All the while, racing has remained at our core, from the Bonneville Salt Flats to championships in Progressive American Flat Track. S&S is the go-to for high performance on and off the racetrack.
Whelen designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights, white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for various industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America. On the road, in the air, and around the world, Whelen is trusted to be seen, trusted to be heard, trusted to perform. Brought to you by Yamaha and its best-in-class lineup of power sports vehicles. For more information on how you too can experience the pinnacle of performance both on and off-road, visit YamahaMotorsports.com. You don't take greatness for granted, and neither should your gear. We are Torch Eyewear, and we design sunglasses for protection, performance, and chasing your passion. For more information, visit our website at torcheyewear.com and click on our free Home Try-On program.
And we are back here at Texas Motor Speedway. It is the Progressive American Flat Track round number 4, Mission Foods Texas Half Mile, presented by Roof Systems. It's a cloudy day out here. Not too bad. It says partly cloudy. We're having some fun out here at the Texas Half Mile. We'll be back on the racetrack in about 10 minutes with our first round of qualifying. It says partly cloudy, 84.9 degrees. It feels about like that. It's really muggy, but it's starting to fill up in the grandstands. People are starting to show up. 5 o'clock, it's still going to be a little bit Sunday, a little bit cloudy. The wind is blowing. They're doing a little track maintenance right now. We got a lot going on. They've watered the racetrack. They've just put some more water on the racetrack. They're rolling it in right now. We got a lot happening out here at Texas Motor Speedway. In just a few moments, we're going to talk a little bit more racing, but right now, let's go down underneath the grandstands with Ricky Rackman, the rookie class 79.
I'm here with two people very important, not only to American Flat Track, but the motorcycle community. We've got Charlie Roberts from the Rookies of 79 and Ari Levenbaum from Law Tigers. Real quick, tell us about Rookies of 79.
Rookies 79 is a group of individuals that were previous motorcycle racers: Wayne Rainey, Scotty Parker, Ronnie Jones, Tommy Duma, myself, and Johnny Winswins. All rookie experts in 1979 that came together 30 years later to form this charity to support the sport that we love and help injured riders.
And Law Tigers, I'm very familiar with. Big part of the motorcycle community. They're attorneys that help it whenever bikers get hurt, because some of those people out there that just don't pay attention. Law Tigers is who you talk to, but Law Tigers is also people that ride and a big part of the motorcycle community, and also very helpful with what's going on with the Rookies of 79.
Yeah, Charlie approached me a few months ago and said, look, I know you sponsor events, but would you help us, help out injured motorcycle racers in the time of need? And I said, absolutely. And I'm actually proud to present Rookies of 79 and Charlie with a check today for $5,000. So here you go, Charlie. Congratulations and thank you for all you do for the community and for injured racers. And we actually have some co-branded tents we've done. We'll be traveling around the different races, working with them. And actually, we donated, here it is, Little Tank the Tigers. And you've actually got $50 each for a couple of these, haven't you?
Absolutely. Tank is very popular with the fans and kids. But as you can see, the co-branded tent between Law Tigers and Rookies of 79. And again, it just seemed like a great fit with Law Tigers already helping injured riders. What better fit? So we can't thank them enough, and we're excited and proud and honored to be representing them at every American Flat Track event this year and other events.
So when you come to the races and you go to the vendor area, definitely check out the Rookies of 79 tent and go check out our good friends from Law Tigers.
One other thing, if you want to donate money, go to rookies79.com.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Ricky was having some fun down below with Law Tigers and the Rookie Class 79. Rookie Class 79 raises money to help injured riders in our sport of flat track, not just out here at the American Flat Track Series, but amateurs and vintage riders as well. So it's a little bit cloudy out here. It's really thick. It's kind of humid out there, but right now, when they're doing a little track maintenance, actually added some water to the racetrack. The rider said it was a little bit dry, but they've put some water on the track, and they're rolling it in right now. We'll be back on the racetrack here in about 8 minutes. This is a scheduled break right now for track maintenance. As we come into Texas, let's talk Super Twins storylines coming in. Meese is definitely the story. He hurt his knee and only made a couple of laps at the Atlanta Super TT. He normally goes good out here. Jared Meese actually has got 2 wins and a second place finish out here at Texas Motor Speedway. So he is our story. How hurt is he? We're going to find out a little bit later on. JD Beach, our current points leader, he's on a roll. And He's got to be one to keep his eyes on, too. J.D. Beach had a good, solid run at round number 1 at Volusia at the half mile, which is similar to this racetrack. A little different configuration, but a half mile nonetheless. Really dark dirt, just like we have out here. And then we got Briar Bauman, our third storyline, the number 1 two-time champ. He's looking to get his first win up here of the season, so looking for another victory. Would love to get back on top. He's winless so far in 3 rounds coming into today. Production Twins. Let's talk about Corey Texter. We've raced here once before as Production Twins. This will be the second race out here. Corey Texter, our current points leader on the G&G Yamaha. He won here back in 2019. He's got to be our top story to keep an eye on. And it's too close for comfort to battle for second place. And third is actually a tie with Chad Coase and Dan Bromley. They're just 1 point behind Corey Texter. And how about this? Production Twins, the PA posse, 4 out of 5 are from the state of Pennsylvania out there in the Production Twins class. Corey Texter, Dan Bromley, Dalton Gauthier, and Ryan Varn. So 4 of the top 5 riders are from the state of Pennsylvania. Do we have our own PA posse like the sprint cars do? That's what we got going on in the Production Twins class. Let's move our attention to the AFT singles class. Dallas Daniels, can he take the win here in Dallas? Dallas in Dallas, our current points leader. Shayna Texter Bauman won round 1 and 2, and she's also won here 2 of the 3 races, and she got second here. So Shayna Texter Bauman has to be one of the favorites to be rooting for out here in the singles class. And Mikey Rush, he's the only rider to be on the podium at all 3 rounds here in 2021. Keep your eyes on number 15, Estenson Racing Yamaha, Mikey Rush, looking for a 4th consecutive podium. And my dark horse, I talked about him a little bit earlier, Morgan Mishler. He's the only rider to beat Shayna Texter out here in the singles class. Mishler has a 4th place finish, a win, and a 6th place finish out here today. And what I like about Mishler is he will not settle for following the leader. He will go up there, find a new line. Usually he goes around to the high side. Keep your eyes on the number 13 of Morgan Mishler. He's my dark horse in the AFT singles class. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it's qualifying time here at the Texas Half Mile. In 5 minutes, we'll be right back.
Hey, is that your stomach growling? Or the sound of thousands of cc's circling the track? Fuel up for race day with Mission Foods. Rev those taste buds with fast and easy-to-create recipes that are Winner's Circle delicious. Try some of our mouth-watering tacos to piled high nachos, fresh chips with guac, and more. Start those engines, because Mission has you covered from the green flag to the checkered flag. Now that's too fast, too tasty.
Voodoo Ranger. Live rangerously.
In 2021, Royal Enfield celebrates 120 years of riding pure. The iconic brand will continue to pursue its efforts in the production twin class and the Build Train Race program. After a successful first-year campaign, Royal Enfield looks to improve on last year's effort. For more information, please visit royalenfield.com.
Since 2011, Blackberry Smoke has donated more than $400,000 to childhood cancer organizations. The purpose of the Blackberry Smoke Fund is to provide funding for cure research initiatives and patient and family support. Please go to blackberrysmoke.com, click on the VIP tab, and help us save childhood dreams. Freedom Power Sports is your one-stop shop for all your power sports needs. With 11 locations across the DFW, we are sure to have what you're looking for. Visit us online at freedompowersportsusa.com. That's freedompowersportsusa.com.
You own the job and everything that comes with it. The mornings that start too early, the nights that go too late, and every unbelievable thing in between. It's good to know you can rent whatever construction equipment you need from people who do whatever it takes. Visit us at catrentalstore.com. Cometic Gasket is the official gasket of Progressive American Flat Track. For decades, Progressive American Flat Track champions have depended on Cometic to seal their engines. Cometic gaskets are the professional standard for racers who demand the very best. For more information, log on to Comedic.com. Comedic Gasket, sealing championship since 1989. Drag Specialties welcomes race fans. At Drag Specialties, our commitment to riding is a way of life. That's why we want to remind you that when you're ready to tackle maintenance or add performance and style to your ride, make your first stop a local dealer who stocks products from Drag Specialties. Drag Specialties. Enjoy the races. Looking for more power? E3 spark plugs deliver more power, better fuel efficiency, and reduced emissions. The secret is in the patented diamond-shaped ground electrode that promotes a more complete burn of the fuel. Proven on the dyno and on the racetrack, the official spark plug of American Flat Track helps power champions on 2 wheels and 4. Winners run E3. What are you running? Parts Unlimited, the people behind We Support the Sport, welcome you to this high-action event. We are proud to join with race fans everywhere in working to ensure that our sport gets bigger and more exciting each season. And you too can support the sport by visiting your local dealer who stocks products from Parts Unlimited. They've got the very best in high-performance parts and accessories and the best support network in the business. Parts Unlimited. We support the sport.
Sideburn is the world's finest go fast, turn left magazine. It is available to buy at Progressive AFT's trackside merchandise booths and is the official magazine of Progressive American Flat Track. For more information, visit sideburnmagazine.com.
Race fans, VP Racing Fuels offers a full line of power sports fuels, lubricants, coolants, and appearance products for track and street. From pro racers to weekend warriors, we help riders make more power. Ask your local power sports dealer.
And welcome back to Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems. Up next will be our first round of qualifying. There are 2 rounds of qualifying for all 4 classes today. Up first is the Mission Super Twins presented by S&S. They'll be coming out according to their point standings. Let's take a look at where we are right now. Those are the singles point standings. We got Super Twins coming up first. That's Dallas Daniels. We'll talk about singles first. They'll be coming out in just a little bit. Daniels has 60 points. He's leading. His teammate right behind him is in second. There, we switched it up to the Super Twins. There's the Super Twins point standings. J.D. Beach is our leader with 55 points. Briar Bauman is second with 52. Brandon Robinson third with 47. The Jammer Jared Meese only made a couple of laps at the Atlanta Super TT. He's battling a knee injury. Keep your eyes on Meese, the number 9 bike with 46 points. And slamming Sammy Halbert in 5th with 44 points. They'll come out onto the racetrack according to their point standings, and here they come. Also out there on the track is the 20 bike of Van de Kooi. We didn't get to him. And the 37 of Bronson Bauman on the Indian of Oklahoma City entry. Their bikes are rolling onto the track right now. This is qualifying. Every lap counts. They'll take the yellow flag this time, the green flag away next time by. JD has his hand up, having an issue already. The 95 pulls up out of the way in turn number 1. On the screen, though, that's the number 1 rider. It's Briar Bauman. JD having an issue. Also, he's still getting up to speed now. Just now getting up to speed. No, he's still off the pace and down the back straightaway. Here they come. There's J.D. Beach on the screen right now. So J.D. off the pace in turn 3 and 4. He was looking really good in the first round of practice. Now he's stepping up the pace. So Beach definitely not getting going like he wanted to. Briar Bauman out in front on the number 1 bike. It is Bauman into the turn number 3 and turn number 4. We're still watching J.D. Beach. Jared Meese has the quick time so far right now. The Jammer Jared Meese. 20.988 for Jared Meese so far. Keep your eyes on the 9. He said he was still injured, but he looks pretty good so far today. J.D. Beach on the screen right now, still getting up to speed. I don't see the 37 of Bronson Bauman. He's on the track, I believe, but he's not getting any time, so he might be on a different motorcycle, just did not switch the transponder over. Briar's in the turn number 1. There's the 44 of Robinson, and behind him is the 44. The 44 is Robinson. Behind him is Meese on the 9 bike. Meese quickest so far here in this qualifying session. The only bike in the 22nd range so far in this session, 20.988. The fastest lap in practice was a 20.354, so the track is slowing down a little bit already. They came onto the racetrack, it was in prime condition. Now they've put some laps on it, so sometimes it will dry out and slow down just a little bit. Good battle between the 44 and the 9 down the back chute. Leader will bring the field off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is out for the 1 of Briar Bauman. 21.125. Last time by was his quickest lap. Checkered flag is out. Jared Meese in the top spot, 20.988. Kristen beat. Kristen's got some more information on the jammer.
You know, Scotty, there was a lot of speculation surrounding the Jared Meese injury entering round 4. And when I spoke with Jared, he was so confident in the fact he was able to get out on the bike this week, put in a few motos, but with an injury, with any sort of knee injury, you have to wonder the longevity of how he'll feel throughout the night. So it's easy to put in a moto or two, but to have a full night and a full program of racing, that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, he's fast now. He's doing well. But will he still feel this good come the main event? Scotty, you've dealt with injuries before. How does that work as an athlete?
Well, you know, taking it easy down there in Atlanta may have helped, but, you know, the 2 weeks off definitely helped Jared, and he's just got to go out there and feel it out and see how he can do. That's Kristen Beat with a good report on the jammer, Jared Meese. Meese wants to get back in victory lane. This is group number 2 coming to the racetrack. The 36 is Colby Carlisle, 67 Davis Fisher, 92 Brandon Price, 27 Robbie Pearson, the 43 is James Rispoli, and the 72, the Worm, Larry Pegram, actually has a top 5 finish out here at Texas Motor Speedway. So Worm will do his best to do that again. He's at the back of the pack right now. Carlisle slid back 1 spot. Brandon Price. No, it looks like Fisher's going to bring him off of turn number 4. Fisher in the lead on the 67 bike. Actually, Breyer has the top spot now. So my timing and scoring just now caught up. Breyer is our quick qualifier so far. 2:0.876 for the one of Breyer Bauman. Meese is in second. 2:0.942. Bronson Bauman third. 2:1.140. So the timing and scoring just updated as we're watching it here. You can watch it on your smart pad, on your tablet, on your computer at home. Download the American Flat Track app and click on live timing. Down the back straightaway is your leader, Davis Fisher. Colby Carlisle chasing him on the 36 Yamaha. Fisher goes up the racetrack. Here comes the 36. Carlisle goes on by. Fisher's going up and he's off the pace. They've slipped off that groove just a little bit. That puts Brandon Price second place on the racetrack. There's a look at the 67 to Davis Fisher. Got into turn number 3 a little bit too hot last time by. Slipped up a little bit, went up the racetrack. Now he gets it really sideways going into 3 again. White flag is out for the 36 of Colby Carlisle, the Estenson Racing Monster Energy Yamaha. Price behind him. Fisher third on the racetrack. Bugs Pearson fourth on the track. And Pearson currently 12th on the speed charts. Brandon Price, who's third on the racetrack, is way back in 11th, so he's got to try to find some speed. Carlisle with the 9th spot right now in qualifying as the checkered flag comes out for round number 1, group number 2 of the Mission Super Twins presented by S&S. There's Pegram across the line on the 72 bike, currently 7th quick. And that will be it for qualifying round number 1 of the Super Twins class. Up next will be the AFT Production Twins presented by Vance and Hines class. Before we bring out the Production Twins, let's take a look back at what happened to Davis Fisher. He got a little bit, got it really sideways. What a save. Wow, if you can see over there on the mobile view big screen, what a save by Davis Fisher. I knew he got in there a little bit too hot in turn number 3, but just about stepped off that motorcycle. Good job catching that one right there. That got a little bit hairy out there for the 67 bike. AFT Production Twins on the racetrack. 65, Corey Texter. 49 is Chad Coase. 62 is Dan Bromley. 79, Dalton Gauthier. 68, Ryan Barnes. 25 is Ben Loud. The 10 is Johnny Lewis. 31 is Dylan Bell. 64, Danny Eslick. And the 44 is Cameron Smith. This is group number 1 of qualifying for Production Twins. 5 laps is the distance. How they finish in qualifying, we'll get their starting lineups for their semifinals. Means the top 8 qualifiers will be on the front row of their semifinals. That's what everybody's shooting for. Corey Texter out in front. The G&G Yamahas bringing the group off of turn number 4. We got on the screen a good battle for about 3 riders a little bit deeper in the field. The 79 of Gauthier, the 10 of Johnny Lewis on the Royal infield, and the 68 of Barnes. Those are 3 Pennsylvania riders right there. We talked about the Pennsylvania posse. Well, there's 3 of them on the screen. 79, the 10, Johnny Lewis. He lives in Florida now, but he's originally from Pennsylvania. Dalton Gauthier actually lives over by Pensacola, Florida, but he is originally from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. So 62 had a little issue right there. There's Cameron Smith, also another PA rider, the 44. Man, something's in the water in Pennsylvania. They're making some fast flat trackers nowadays. Back in the day, we used to talk about the Michigan Mafia, but now it seems like a lot of fast guys and girls coming from PA. There's Cameron Smith on the 44 bike. Ben Lau has the quick time so far, the 25, quickest on the track, 2:1.201. Corey Texter is third, 2:1.575. Dalton Gauthier is third, 2:1.627. That is Cameron Smith right there, the 44 bike, currently in the 7th spot as the white flag comes out for Corey Texter. 1 lap to go. Cam Smith on the screen, getting it. Oh, we got a rider down in the middle of 3 and 4. He's up and okay. There's one rider coasting on the back straightaway. White flag is out. The 25 has the quick time, but he threw it down in turn 3 and 4. He's getting out of harm's way on his Harley-Davidson. That was a surprise. So you throw down a quick lap, and then you throw it on the ground. You never know what's going to happen. The 25 bike has the top spot, 2:1.201. This class is actually a half a second faster than they were in practice, a little bit different than the Super Twins. They're a little bit off the pace, but these guys have picked up the pace. So the Super Twins were a half a second slower. The Production Twins are now half a second faster from practice into qualifying. Up next will be group number 2 of the AFT Production Twins, presented by Vance & Hines. The 42, Jeremiah Duffy. 45 is Shelby Miller. 50, Jimmy McAllister. 60, that is Nick Armstrong. 71, Pat Buchanan. 276 is Brian Lafelt. 117, Jordan Harris. The 22 is Mitch Harvitt. And the 15 is Gary Ketchum. All right, so a few drops are falling on the racetrack. There's a few drops falling on the racetrack, and there's a look at the radar right there. We are just up there to the top, actually right near the middle of their Fort Worth area, so just a little bit north of Fort Worth, but there's a small storm brewing right around us. I got reports from Graham down there in Arlington. She's headed this way, and she said it was dropping the R word a little bit down there, but it is headed here right now. So, of course, we won't have any bikes on the racetrack for just a little bit. So we'll have to take a pause for the cause right now. Some of the folks down here in the grandstands are heading down there. Underneath the grandstands, there's a lot of vendors down there. Dallas Honda has got a booth set up. Law Tigers are there. Kicker is there. American Flat Tracker Clothing Company. They've got 2 shirts out here for the Texas Half Mile. Stop by and check them out. The rookie class of 79 is also underneath the grandstands. And Chasing Neon will be performing music underneath the grandstands, too. You see the clouds are just above us out here at Texas Motor Speedway. So we got a little bit of a weather delay right now. We're going to do everything we can to get this race in. All right. All right. Let's check in with Ricky Rackman. We'll be back with a weather update here in just a moment.
And today we're going to follow Brandon Robinson throughout the progression all the way up until the main event. And Brandon, the season started off pretty good. We've got round 4 at Texas, but you got a win right off the bat in Volusia, which has got to feel real good.
Yeah, I mean, the season opener went off great for us, coming out swinging, and the whole Mission Foods Roof Systems team has just been clicking on all cylinders all season. So I'm just looking forward to getting back on a good oval track here in Texas Motor Speedway and try to have some fun today.
Is there something that you do a couple hours before the race? Is there a certain, regimen, what you eat, what you don't eat?
Nothing too crazy, just making sure I put on the same lucky pair of underwear, and that's about it.
So you're saying that sort of laughing, but are you joking? Is there a lucky pair of underwear?
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell all my secrets, so we'll find out.
So that's it. Do you get nervous at all, like at a couple hours before the race, or are you pretty even-keeled the whole day?
I mean, there's always nerves of some sort, but I mean, for the most part, I feel pretty, calm, cool, and collected. And especially on a track like this, where it's kind of in my wheelhouse, I feel good about it, and just ready to have fun and get out of it.
Does it feel sometimes after we get out of a TT race that when we get back to a kart track or something like this, that it's like, okay, we're back on oval. I feel a lot more comfortable now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously TTs have, ain't no secret. That's where I've been struggled at in my entire career. So coming back to an oval, it's it's kind of time for redemption and show these boys that I'm still in the real deal. So it'll be fun to hopefully get back on top of the podium and put our mark down in this championship this year.
I'm going to let you go, but before we go, to me, it seems like this could be a season filled with a lot of parity, that we may get a lot of different winners. Do you feel that could be the case?
I mean, so far we've seen 3 different winners in 3 different races, and obviously with the Yamaha guys, they seem to step up their program, and a lot more good privateer Indian programs are going on this year. So it's anyone's race, in the Super Twins class. Every guy in that class deserves to be there, and they're the best guys in the world at what we do. So it's anyone's game, as long as they're on their A game, and that's pretty much it.
Very good. We'll check in with Brandon Robinson a little bit later.
We'll check in with Brandon Robinson throughout the day. That was Ricky Rackman, down the star of Headbangers Ball way back in the day on MTV, now the star of The Ball. So check out Ricky Rackman, see what's going on. Let's talk about the storylines here once again in the Super Twins class. Jared Meese is the story. How hurt is he? We're going to find out throughout the night. He looked really good so far out here in practice and qualifying. A lot stronger than I thought he was going to be. Also, another storyline we're going to be keeping our eyes on is J.D. Beach. He is our current points leader, and he looked so good at that Super TT in Atlanta, our last round. And Briar Bauman looking for a win. Briar currently sitting second in the point standings. Got a new set of leathers out there. He's got some all white, or mostly white leather, so keep your eyes out there for the number one of Briar Bauman. Currently second in the point standings. And speaking of point standings, let's take a look at him right now, how we run coming into today. Out here at the Progressive AFT, J.D. Beach in the points lead with 1 win, 55 points. Briar's been very consistent with 52. Sitting in second, Briar Bauman on the number 1 bike. Second, Brandon Robinson third on the 44 bike. Jared Meese sitting back there fourth in the point standings. Sammy Halbert in fifth. Jared Vandekoy sixth. Bronson Bauman in seventh. Eighth is Colby Carlisle, the Flying Tomato. Davis Fisher currently in the ninth spot in the point standings. Behind him, Brandon Price, Bugs Pearson, Rispoli back there, rounding out your top 10. Larry Pegram, the Worm, is also here today, racing with us on the 72 bike. He's 14th in the points, but he's next on my list. Tyler O'Hara got a good, solid finish there at the Atlanta Super TT. Tyler O'Hara, full-time road racer. He came to play a little dirt track with us at the Atlanta Super TT, and that's how they stay in so far. And earlier today, we caught up with Jared Meese. We wanted to find out what's going on with his injured knee. Let's take a listen. All right. We'll get back to that in a second. Maybe the Mother Nature putting a little damper on that story. So it is sprinkling out here for you folks tuning in from all across the world. It is sprinkling just a little bit. The good news is the track is packed in as tight as possible. They've been working on this racetrack since Thursday, and they've got this track packed in as tight as possible. We are going to do everything we can to get the race in tonight. The track should take as much moisture as we can. Actually, I'm not going to say it's going to take as much moisture. It'll take a lot of moisture right now. It's packed in tight, so when it does catch those R drops, I don't say the R word down here. So when the moisture does fall, it should roll off the racetrack. So they've got it packed in nice and tight. So nothing's happening out here on the racetrack, but we're trying to figure out what our next move is. We're kind of waiting on Mother Nature, so we'll play it by ear. If you're out here with us, stop by and see what's going on underneath the grandstands. We've got some live music down there. Chasing Neon is here. Several vendors set up down there. Kicker making an appearance with us on the 2021 season. Kicker Audio's down there. American Flat Tracker Clothing Company is there. Rookie Class 79, Dallas Honda, Law Tigers, and much, much more. So lots happening underneath the grandstands. We'll be on that racetrack just as soon as we can. A few of you folks are toughing it out down here in the grandstands. Brought their plastic bags, umbrellas, and stuff they use to stay dry. When we get back out here soon, we'll get back into AFT Production Twins qualifying. We're still in round number 1. So we're kind of on a little bit of a hold due to a weather delay out here at Texas Motor Speedway. It is Progressive American Flat Track, round number 4. The Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems. All right, so while we wait out the weather for just a little bit, looks like the street sweeper is already out there. We're going to try to dry it out, so we'll be on the racetrack just as soon as possible. For the meantime, if you're here with us, you can watch the Mobile View Jumbotron outside turn number 3. If you're at home, we're going to play the race from Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas is where we ran last year. So let's take a look back at the 2020 season from Devil's Bowl Speedway.
It's a Texas two-step, the first leg of a doubleheader at Devil's Bowl Speedway in Dallas. And championship points on the line at a pivotal mark of the championship. Who will get the edge? Progressive American Flat Track coming up next on NBCSN.
The world's premier motorcycle international event.
It takes stout lads like them to go for this kind of competition.
It draws the who's who of cycling and the finest riders on two wheels competing, followed by thousands of loyal fans.
We tear our insides out to win. You can't think, you can't remember what you do or say. There is no thinking. Our hearts beat, but our minds are dead.
It's not easy to lean into turns at over 100 miles an hour.
Legalized insanity.
He's gonna score.
What's it all add up to? The most thrilling spectator sport in America. It adds up to life itself. It adds up to the pain of losing and the thrill of winning. To race is to live.
Let's go racing here in Texas. The Roof Systems of Dallas half mile presented by Law Tigers. We're in Mesquite, just outside of Dallas. Briar Bauman dominated the half mile previously in Pennsylvania, won both races there. So Jared Mees, who was leading the points coming into those events, has to bounce back on this half mile, try to regain control from Bauman. And Brandon Robinson has been close all season, showing strength. Could he be an upset winner in one of these events? Jason Wygant, joined by the 7-time Grand National champion Chris Carr and Kristen Beat, will be patrolling from the racetrack. We look at the point standings, still a battle at the top with Bauman and Mees.
Certainly is. Jared Mees is going to want to keep the seesaw and points going once again. Halbert sitting there in third, outside looking in. He's going to need to have some good results to resurrect his championship hopes.
Halbert's had a win, but also some bad luck at other events, so it might be a two-horse race, but this is a tricky racetrack, and it could change everything. Let's send it down to Kristen.
For many riders, this is the first time they've raced in Mesquite at the Texas half mile, but this is not a typical cookie cutter half mile. This is so different than anything we have seen before, so let me break it down. This is a high banked D-shaped half mile with turns 1 and 2 being completely different than turns 3 and 4. There's a dip in the track, the backstretch 15 feet higher than the front stretch. It forces riders to race at a variable incline and decline. And if that wasn't enough, the soil composition is also unique here. Check this out. I took a sample from turn 2. As you can see, it's a black clay, but it is super tacky. And from my understanding, it holds moisture extremely well. It is going to be ultra grippy. So Jason, Chris, you guys know what that means. It is going to be a Texas rodeo out here.
All right, well, we're looking forward to that. And also looking forward to the racing is Dan Bromley, your 2018 champion in the singles division, back up on the Super Twins bikes, and a big breakthrough with a pair of top fives at his home race last time.
People say that once it just will click, and I guess it just clicked. Biggest thing was just being confident on the bikes. You know, we had a minimal amount of time before the season to ride them, and then with the whole COVID thing, it made it even harder to rent tracks. So being able to be on the bikes, and I feel like every weekend we've been doing better. We started in Volusia with 13th and 15th, and then we went down to 12th in Indy, a 10th at Springfield, and now 5th. So slowly we've been getting back to where I feel like me as a rider should be, and I'm looking forward to a great race today. My title sponsor, Roof Systems Dallas, Texas, is the title sponsor of this race, which is awesome to be able to come here in Jerry's hometown. And then I have one of my good friends and good sponsors, Mike Vincent of Vincent Road Boring. He's here as well, so I'm excited to try and put on a good show for both of them and get exposure for both their companies.
We'll see if he can put it up on the podium here. Our highlights of qualifying Super Twins Semi 1. Jared Mees out front. Bromley putting some heat on, Chris.
Yeah, it certainly is. Looked like he was wanting to widen the racing line here through turns 3 and 4 as he makes a run around the outside of Jared Mees.
Now, Bromley raced Super Twins a couple of years ago, then switched down to singles, won a title, really adapting well to the big bike now as he edges the multi-time series champ for the win.
Yeah, classic squares up the 5-time champ to bring it home to win semi number 1.
A shakeup here in Semi 2. Watch the 44, Brandon Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson coming off of turn 4. Turn 4 is really flat. He trying to get a drive on the 69, runs out of racetrack, kind of up against the wall. They got a little dirt berm up there. Vicious tank slapper. That one had to hurt.
Yeah, that's an amazing save. So Bauman goes on to take the win. Robinson will finish 5th and qualify for the main, but due to the foot injury he suffers there, not going to line up in the main event. Meanwhile, let's talk to our winner.
Kind of have to stay on your toes, kind of have to watch the track. There was a few times I did things I wouldn't normally do in the main if I'm leading. I'm just trying to, I keep saying, I'm just trying to get better, trying to get smarter, learn more about myself, the bike. Any motorcycle powered by Progressive is great. Whole team's top notch, and we're just trying to, we're trying to go on a roll. So we're just trying to learn as we go.
Dan Bromley, yeah, establishing himself in the Super Twins class And there's no establishment necessary for your champion, Briar Bauman, still rolling. We will switch to AFT singles. Dallas Daniels catching fire. Can the young kid win again? Stay with us. Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Honda's all-new Talon 1000 X4, the official sports side-by-side of American Flat Track. By Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. And by Progressive, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. We're back. It's the Roost Systems of Dallas half mile presented by Law Tigers here in Mesquite, Texas. AFT singles riders getting ready here in Progressive American Flat Track. Dallas Daniels starting to pull away in the series.
Yeah, this just turned 17-year-old kids doing a number on many of the veterans of the sport from the last few years. Good job on his part.
Yeah, he didn't even make the main at the opener. He's been on fire ever since.
Third win of the season, and with it the points lead. He's got it. Dallas Daniels wins again.
Being the points leader, definitely in the back of my mind for sure, trying to wrap up this championship. But honestly, I just try to keep focused on winning races. That's how we got to this point. Definitely need to keep it in the back of our mind just in case stuff goes the wrong way. We always don't want to take any unnecessary risks. Definitely need to be smart.
17 years old from Mattoon, Illinois, passes wild.
We were 7th in points going into that race. That being the night where we had 2 main events in one night. It was something we've never really seen before.
Daniels brings it home for the Estenson Yamaha team.
Wow.
How about that?
That's unexpected.
I think that's really what catapulted. It catapulted me into second, but Williams Grove was really good for us too. I was able to do professional supermoto at a very young age when I was 12, and I was able to race Moto America. It's always been a big part of my life as I was a kid to be mature, is just on and off the track, and I think that's just how I was raised.
First full pro season for Daniels on the Estenson Yamaha, and he is starting to find his groove.
I think people thought we were out of it, and we knew that we would figure ourselves out towards the middle of the season and the end of the season. And we're in the best spot possible to have the points lead, but you definitely can't relax in this series. These people will pounce on you if you get too comfortable. So I don't even think it's going to be Henry as my one guy. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 of them that are going to be challenging week in and week out till the end of the season, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, he's gone 1-5-2-1 in the last 4 races. This is your AFT singles presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. Here's your highlights of qualifying. Out front early, you got Chad Coase on the 49 and Michael Intermission on the 54 battling.
Yeah, Intermission and Coase both grew up at the Lodi Cycle Bowl, a track with very similar dirt composition. They go 1-2.
Yep, showing that experience pays off. Mikey Rush, who's a championship contender, that's Dallas Daniels' teammate, finishes 3rd. There's Daniels, edged off the line by Max Whale here in Semi 2.
Yeah, Max Whale, good start, and immediately Daniels pounces. Door was open, he closed it real quick.
That was pretty impressive. Doing the diamond there, going from outside to inside, cutting it short, and the kid wins again. It's a pretty big gap for a short half-mile race here in Semi 2. So he keeps rolling. But Henry Wiles, second in the series, rolls up to second in this race. So he's going to be strong in the main. So we're ready for our main event in the AFT singles class here, Progressive American Flat Track. Let's get a pre-race report from Kristen Beat.
The Estenson Yamaha singles have won 3 of 4 half miles in the 2020 season. And for Dallas Daniels, this is the first time he's led the points in his pro career. This is an exciting time for Dallas Daniels. I had a call with him earlier this week, and he was telling me that they're not taking any unnecessary risks. After Volusia, he said we had nothing to lose, but now we're in the game, and that stays true for tonight. When I spoke with him earlier, he said for the most part, he's trying not to think about the points. Their team dynamic is completely different. It's Dallas's responsibility to win races. It's on the team to win a championship. And guys, his crew chief, James Hart, and his dad, Nick Daniels, have been setting him up to do just that. Both of them raced here in the 90s. They have a good idea of what this track demands from the setup. They came in with a good base. Dallas is primed to keep this moving in the right direction. Dallas is starting from the front row, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. Didn't qualify for that race in Volusia, the season opener. He's been very good ever since. Intermission, though, on that RMR Honda looks strong as well. And let's see if Henry Wiles can get back in this mix.
Well, Henry's going to have to get back to his winning ways in order to run down this kid. Dallas Daniels is something special.
Yeah, last race for the 17 of Wiles, that was a rough one. Couldn't even get it in the top 5 in those mains, so see if he can bounce back. And Chad Coast and that Suzuki, you never know what you're going to get out of him. He doesn't even race every single round of this. He splits time in the production twins class, but when he's on the line, he is quick, and he's down on the inside of the 49. Let's go racing here in AFT Singles.
I love to hear the start of an AFT Singles race.
And Coast going to control the lead going into turn 1. Daniel's going to try that inside line that he used out of turn 2 in the semi. Didn't work on Coast this time.
I think Coast might have seen that earlier in the day. I had a little defense set up for that one.
All right, so far so good for the Suzuki man. Daniel's down on the inside.
Yeah, Coast got a little wide. Sometimes there's strips of rubber on this racetrack that are much slicker than others. It's really a deep blue or dark black. And that's looked like Coast got up in a little patch of that, and Daniels was able to go on by.
They don't want to let him get away. You see Henry Wiles and Coast battling. Now Wiles going to try the high line. Didn't work.
Yeah, didn't quite get the drive there. I think he's going to have to work on that a little bit.
Mikey Rush sliding into third on his Estenson Yamaha, just ahead of Coast.
Yeah, Rush, he wants to get up there and help his teammate a little bit. You know, you got to kind of look at this as an RMR Honda versus a Stenson Yamaha as Rush goes wide there, drops back behind Coast.
And Intermittent on the other RMR Honda, you said 2 riders against 2. It is. They're 4 of the top 5. And they got the Suzuki of Coast right in between them. Intermittent and Rush really fighting it out.
Yeah, side by side through 3 and 4. Looks like Rush is having a little bit of a struggle, like he's got his hands on a wheelbarrow full of alligators.
That bike's going all over the place, and yeah,
he's going backwards. Going backwards right now.
Okay, so that'll shuffle the order a little bit. As quickly as Rush moves forward, he goes back. You got the 13 of Morgan Mishler going to put some pressure on him. Looks like Wiles has got it dialed in from second.
Yeah, Wiles trying to stretch out the racetrack, going up a little bit wider in turns 3 and 4. You know, uphill through turns 1 and 2 right here. The bike kind of goes uphill. You got to make sure you're not turning too late coming off the corner. And it's a downhill run through turns 3 and 4. And Henry's playing around with different lines, trying to see where he can keep the wheels in line and keep his momentum up to run down Daniels.
As I mentioned, Mishler putting pressure on Rush. Go back to Daniels. There is the 17 Honda trying to close in. So the rear brake rotor of Wiles' machine glowing red. Dragging that around.
Yeah, a lot of riders nowadays tend to really ride the rear brake hard to try and keep the bike stable through the corners, and then monitor their acceleration while being on the gas by releasing a little bit of brake pressure as they come off the corner.
Yeah, they don't have any sort of traction control electronically on these bikes, so the brake, is that basically the rudimentary way?
I call that poor man's traction control. You riding the brake and the throttle at the same time. Sometimes you got competing forces. Some places it works really well, and others it's pretty tricky to pull off.
This track looks tricky to pull off. Daniels and Wiles pretty smooth out front, but everybody else having a rough ride.
Yeah, there's a couple little blemishes through turns 1 and 2, and down here through the bottom in 3 and 4, you see a couple little chatter bumps coming off the corner. You know, the bikes have plenty of suspension to handle it, but when the traction is changing through that process as well, it's very tricky for them to figure out.
This is big right here. 1 and 2 in the points, or 1 and 2 in the track. Can Wiles run Dallas Daniels down? Stay with us. Progressive American flat track here. Inner squadron battle. We thought Henry Wiles here, the number 17 in second, would try to run the leader Dallas Daniels down. Instead, he has been caught by his teammate, Michael Intermittent.
Yeah, as we just saw the halfway flags come out, younger RMR Honda teammate Intermittent. Be kind of interesting here. He knows his teammate's in a battle to chase down. Is he going to make a move on his more veteran teammate? Or is he going to play a good teammate? That's the story from here to the end of this one.
Yeah, Wiles needs points. Would have loved to have overhauled Dallas Daniels one-on-one. But in the second half of this race, the Yamaha man up front has inched away. So now it's 2 Hondas fighting for podium real estate.
Well, and Inderbitsen's doing a good job here. He's not following. He's coming off the corner. He's trying to make the straightaways a little bit longer. But you see him kind of set up a little wide down in 3 and 4, a little low here, drifts up a little bit, trying to make a run around the outside, doing a good job there. Doesn't quite get the momentum up the inside, but when you get here to 3 and 4, he moves to the outside, trying to find a way to go, all right, if he makes a mistake, I can dart low and make the straightaway sooner.
Oh, he is all over Wiles. Let's see what he can do heading into turn 1. Wiles shuts the door. Got about 2.5 minutes before the 2 laps to go card comes out.
Yeah, these guys have settled into about a 3-foot wide area around the racetrack, and it's who best uses that 3-foot wide area in order to gain the advantage getting to the stripe.
How will the teammates play it? That's going to be the pivotal juncture right now. How aggressive will Inderbitsen be?
I don't see him being aggressive and going in there and roughing him up, but, I don't think there are team orders. I mean, maybe in the back of his mind, he's going, I want to be a good teammate here, but I also want to finish as best I can because, there's a little bit of money on the line here, too, in the forms of purse and contingency money. So, he's got to buy some bread as well.
Look at that rear brake rotor of 17 a while, still glowing. You'll see it right here.
Well, you see it glowing, but you also see that right now Henry's pretty much wheels are in line. We call it road race in the corners a little bit. These 450s, when they fall off the cam, it takes a while to get the momentum back up. They're shifting, they're running third through the corners, grabbing fourth down the straightaways, down shifting into the corners. You saw Daniels there make a little tap down to third gear. Keeping the wheels in line real good, running the very bottom. It's almost like he's riding on the area of the racetrack where the riders polish the dirt with their skid shoes. That's how low in the corners he's running.
An interesting point you bring up. Yeah, the twins, obviously they have more power, but the power band, they have more grunt, more low end.
Yeah, big numbers in torque. A twin will be in the mid-60s on torque. These bikes are down in the low 40s. So they got to run at higher RPMs in order to keep their power, keep their speed up.
So if you make a mistake, it's probably elevated here.
Yes, it certainly is. That's why they go down in gear so that they're in the peak RPM range coming off the corners.
And you can hear Wiles grab fourth gear coming out of that corner with the onboard. Inderbitsen has done everything he can to get around him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's being patient. That's what you want to see from a young up-and-coming rider. Inderbitsen's been on the scene a few years. He's in his early 20s. He's been kind of in and out of the sport a little bit over the last couple years, but he's doing a really good job.
Is Wiles holding him up? What do you think here?
It's possible. I think if Inderbitsen can get by him, he might be able to get away with him. Inderbitsen goes in, makes a little mistake there, loses a couple bike links right in the middle of the corner. And it's really important, especially here at Devil's Bowl, to be low on the exit of turn 2. That run uphill coming through turns 1 and 2 with 2 laps to go here, progressive race to the checkers. Inderbitsen's got to get this thing turned and get a good run.
Wiles is 36 years old. I'd say the odds-on favorite when they announced Honda signed him to move into the singles class this year. A lot of people thought, well, man, he's been so good at even big bikes and running 450s back when they raced these bikes in the premier class. A lot of people thought he'd be unstoppable, and he has been good. But these kids, giving them all they can handle.
Yes, they have. And you got to remember, Wiles hasn't been on these bikes in a few years. He's getting back up to speed. As Inderbitsen round the outside.
Last lap, kids got to go for it. Meanwhile, Dallas Daniels about to do it again. Another win for the 17-year-old. Inderbitsen just edges Wiles for second.
Well, I guess there weren't any team orders on that one, huh? That was a great pass. Inderbitsen goes for it, runs around the outside, bears it in there deep, keeps his momentum going, and beat Henry Wiles to the line for second.
Well, Dallas Daniels, this is going to make 2 wins in a row for him, and in a second in the race before that. So 2-1-1 in the last 3. He has absolutely struck gold now at the mid-season mark and pads that points lead just a little bit more. So much hype when Daniels turned pro late last season. Had to wait until he turned 16, and he has very much lived up to that. Trent Lowe, didn't see much of him. Late race charge goes up to 4th. And Shayna Texter, disappointment there on the Red Bull KTM, ends up 17th. That's going to hurt her championship bid. Let's head down to Kristen.
Dallas Daniels with back-to-back wins, his 4th consecutive win of the 2020 season. Dallas, first off, congratulations. What contributed to that efficiency here tonight?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the big thing tonight was bike setup. My Essence and Monster Energy Yamaha team, my crew chief James Hart, my dad Larry Fulton, they had this bike just working awesome, and it was just a blast to ride it. We kind of struggled early on in the day, new track for us, first time I've been here, but my crew's been here before. Just trying to figure out the track, figure it out in the semi. I knew I just needed to get a good start and, be smooth. The track really got slick there towards the end, and you kind of had to go slower to go faster. But, man, it's awesome. 4 wins on the season. Lengthen out that points lead, which is awesome. Trying not to think about that, but it's hard, and I'm having so much fun. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to come out and do what I love at such a young age, and I can't wait for the rest of the season.
Of course, he'd love to race right now if he could. He'll get his wish. We're going to race tomorrow. And he can continue this rush on the points because Rush and Wiles now falling further into the distance in 3rd and in 2nd. Max Whale and Lowe round out the top 5. Michael Ingerbritsen, a great late race charge to steal the runner-up spot. Let's go to Kristen.
Michael Ingerbritsen earning his first podium here in 2020. Michael, what was it like battling your teammate Henry Wiles, and how did you know that highline would work for you?
I was watching the earlier on races. I seen Dan Bromley do it, and then it's awesome racing Henry. I grew up watching him and watching him dominate, and it's awesome just being able to be on the same team and learn things from him. It's a great feeling.
Here's the big moment. Ingerbritsen on the high line, and then the 17 of Wiles. That mistake right there allowed his teammate to edge him out. He does pick up podium points, though, here in 3rd.
2 Richie Morris Racing Hondas on the box tonight. You guys had this track figured out, but Henry, you had to work for this one.
Yeah, we definitely started a little behind today. Got into 2nd place there, and I didn't really know where anybody was, but I didn't really look back, so I was struggling down here in 3 and 4 a little bit, and it was kind of hard to pass down there. So I'm sure I was probably holding Michael up a little bit. He had a pretty good pace earlier in the day, so he got by me right there at the end. But other than that, we had a pretty good ride, and hope to improve a little bit tomorrow.
He needs some wins because Dallas Daniels is taking control of the AFT singles class, maybe early in the delivery of his skills, taking himself into championship status. He is absolutely the man to beat right now in the singles division.
Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Law Tigers. You never have to ride alone. By Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track, and by Progressive, official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track.
This is the Roof Systems Dallas half mile here in Texas. Super Twins riders getting set for their main event, but we're going to put the focus for the moment here on the Production Twins class, and the Rocket James Rispoli is rocketing away from the rest of the field. Been dominating the last couple of races with win streak coming in. Corey Texter now back to 2nd. And Ben Lau has a win this year, and he has quietly moved up to 3rd. So let's check in with the number 25.
We've grown a lot from last year for sure, but the half miles are definitely going to be where I'm going to struggle a little bit more than some other places, especially riding against the Manson Hines XG 750s. Those things, they're made to go in a circle on these types of tracks. So us with the Yamahas and the Kawasaki's, we might spin the tire a little bit more, so we'll be struggling for traction out there. But overall, this weekend we changed everything. We got a whole new motor package, a little bit different suspension stuff. So we'll hopefully this weekend we'll see a lot of improvement.
So we'll show you the highlights of their main event. Rispoli with a 3-race win streak coming in. Good start, though, from Corey Texter.
Yeah, Texter gets off the line real good, coming off a turn 2. Big issue coming off a turn 2. And they start ganging up on him on both sides, 2, 3, and 4.
It didn't take long for Rispoli, looking for 4 straight wins to take the lead. And then his buddy Coase, also on the Harley-Davidson in the 49, down to 2nd.
Yeah, Ryan Barnes in the mix. We took a look at Lau bang off the wall. Barnes, little issue there.
Track getting rough here, but Rispoli has handled everything thrown his way as of late, and there it is, 4 in a row for the Rocket, and a big gap in the end over his buddy Coase, and Barnes able to recover for podium points in 3rd. That was not what Texter wanted. Whole shot back to 7th. So everything is rolling James Rispoli's way, and this dude's always fired up.
James Rispoli, 4 in a row, 4 consecutive wins. James, this latest Motors Harley-Davidson has been unstoppable. How do you feel right now?
Dude, I'm still pumped, you know. Johnny Ray says, man, you got to, anytime you win, it could be your last, so you got to celebrate like it's your first. So Keith Flynn taught me that as well, you know, every time he performs. So, dude, this is so amazing. We're having such a dream season, you know. Dude, the class is tough. It's not like they're not talented guys. We just have a really good package. I'm on such good form. The fans are amazing, and I'm just stoked, man. I'm just so pumped. We got to do it all again, but 4 in a row, baby. Let's just keep it going. Revolutions, baby, revolutions.
I want to see if he can keep that enthusiasm going if he keeps winning these. Here's Dunlop Tire Talk. What's the setup tonight here, Chris?
Well, both twins classes had the opportunity to run the R5 soft or R9 hard compound. Despite this being a really hard racetrack here, soft compound's most likely the choice for all competitors in both twins classes.
All right, so it'll be the R5. That's Dunlop Tire Talk. We are getting ready for our AFT Super Twins main event. Domination in the last half mile for Briar Bauman. Let's see if Jared Mees, someone like Jeffrey Carver, lots of contenders, can they strike back against the champ? Progressive American Flat Track here on NBCSN. We have a limited crowd on hand in Texas, and this is what they came to see, the AFT Super Twins main event. Briar Bauman reclaiming the points lead by sweeping the last 2 rounds of the series, but a couple other riders coming on strong. Dan Bromley winning his semi, top 5 at our last event. Jared Mees, not quite on the ropes yet, but he needs to bounce back with 4th on the grid to make up some points on Bauman. So this is going to be a big one here at a very tricky racetrack. It's been very technical, you've been saying, Chris.
Yeah, very technical, uphill through turns 1 and 2, downhill through 3 and 4 to a flat front straightaway. These guys are going to have to work hard to keep it off the outside concrete wall.
Yeah, we've seen some riders flirting with that. Let's send it down to Kristen Beat for a pre-race report.
Tonight, Jared Mees enters this main event trailing Briar Bauman by 5 points. Now, 5 points may not seem consequential with 8 rounds to go, but keeping Briar on a leash, keeping him within striking distance is crucial for Mees. When I spoke with him earlier in the day and in the semis, it looked as though Jared just wasn't quite comfortable. He was struggling to find a line he preferred. We saw him even kiss the wall a few times. He said with how quickly the wall comes up on the exit of turn 4 and how aggressively you have to turn the bike, there's an emphasis on that corner, and they are still trying to figure it out. We'll see if he can get it done and keep Briar within striking distance in this main event, guys.
All right, there is Jared Mees, the 5-time champ, looking to strike back. Card is sideways. Let's go racing. It's AFT Super Twins from Texas.
Long light green.
Wow, they really did hold that a while. Bauman down to the inside, though, didn't get a very good jump. Sammy Halbert in the 69 going to lead them in.
Yeah, 3 wide coming off of turn 2. Bromley up on the outside, Halbert in the middle, and Bauman on the bottom.
Let's see who edges ahead. Bauman, I think, got the move on Halbert. Yes, the number 1's going to lead them out. Oh, Bromley aggressive on the outside.
Yeah, nice move around the outside. Doesn't quite make it stick. Start to see the twins riders widening the racing line, specifically through turns 3 and 4. They kind of chasing a little bit of moisture on the racetrack, up the racetrack, trying to keep more momentum and get the thing turned coming off the corner. That's the widest we've seen anybody off turn 4.
Yeah, that was the leader, Bauman, way up there, so he's opening the door, but he must feel like there's some speed up there. Bromley's all over Mees right now with the SNS on board.
Yeah, I saw Bromley carry a lot of corner speed there through the middle, but it pushed him wide. And with this D shape, that's a long way around, but it works good down here in 3 and 4. He squares him up coming off the corner.
Yeah, working from outside to inside is Bromley, and it almost worked. Then Jeffrey Carver leading this pack.
Yeah, we got Robbie Pearson there on his new ride with Rackley Racing, comes up the inside. JD Beach on the Yamaha trying to get in the mix as well.
Yeah, haven't seen much of JD, the Jiggy Dog, up front this year. Full time now in American Flat Track. Was splitting his time with road racing last season. And looking to see Beach on that 95 become a factor. Then you got Price on the 92 trying to pass him.
I'm curious to see if that pack can catch this pack. They are actually.
Well, when you start racing 2 by 2 or 3 wide, sometimes that'll slow you down a little bit, as we see Bronson Bauman back there with the glowing brake rotor struggling a little bit here at this tricky half mile in Mesquite.
So Pearson has made the move on the 23 of Carver, and now he's trying to catch Bromley. That would be for 4th. Then Price around Carver as well.
Yeah, good job. Price showed up in there. Didn't even see him sneak through the pack as Robbie Pearson gets away from all of these guys and starts running down the 9 of Mies.
Pretty impressive what Pearson has done, breaking that group and then catching the leaders. Track has really widened out, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, riders are kind of searching around. It's starting to take a lot of rubber. It's kind of in a drying process right now. And there are times when, you know, the high moisture content below this black clay, when that rubber gets laid down, it actually can be very, very slippery. As you see Bauman, he's trying to stay off the rubber as much as possible, runs across it going into turn 3 as we look back through the field.
Well, Pearson, I believe, is setting up a move on Bromley. Wow. Bauman has pulled away at an alarming rate here around the halfway mark.
Yeah, as you listen to the onboard, he's just real ginger with the throttle. You look back coming off the corners, he's accelerating on what's the really light brown dirt that doesn't have the rubber laid into it. Pearson has caught Bromley, and they go side by side through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I thought he had the pass made about a lap and a half ago. Bromley making that outside line work defensively, really close up against the wall.
Yeah, we're starting to see, looks like Bromley's bike starting growing a tail there.
Yeah,
his seat pan is slipped back. It looks like his seat has come loose. So he's gonna have a rough little ride here through the bumps.
Yeah, how much will that affect the actual riding?
Well, he's probably thinking about, all right, how do I keep this on the motorcycle and still do what I need to do? So he's certainly trying to work that out right now as Pearson gets a few bike lengths more in front of him.
Bummer for Bromley. Won his semi, looked good early in this race. Now drifting back a bit with that problem. Pearson not going to ask questions about it. Could Pearson maybe even run down a podium here? He's on the move.
He's looking pretty good right now. He's got Jared Mies right in front of him. Robbie, a year or two older than Mies. They've raced a ton over the last 15 years, not only at the AFT level, but at other professional races as well. He's certainly incentivized right now to go chase down a podium.
As for Bromley, it was always fun to joke. He said his main sponsor was Daddy Deep Pockets, his dad, Joe. Then he went on to a factory ride with Red Bull KTM and a singles title. Now getting back in the mix of Super Twins. So we check back in with the leader. And, man, this is exactly like we saw at our last race in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Briar Bauman riding it smooth, making it look effortless. Halbert doing what he can to chase him down. Mies wanting to get back forward, and Pearson in a solid fourth. They're all kind of equidistant from each other at the moment.
Remember, second place rider in this race. Oh, no, there it goes for Bromley.
Yeah, he reached down and flung the seat pad off. Now he's riding on just the seat pan. And right below that seat pan, that's frame rails, and a little bit of whiff of smoke coming out of that too. Sitting below that seat pan is the electronics on these FTRs. So hopefully he'll be able to figure out how to make this thing work and get to the end.
Took a glance down to try to see the condition of that bike. All right.
There's the seat pad sitting up there off the racing line. They're going to keep the race green. Nobody really running up on that part of the racetrack or seat pad.
Man, Bromley's got to be bummed, though. He was dialed in, and now he's just going to be left to wonder what if. Maybe a podium tonight, at least top 5. It's starting to slip away. No such trouble for Briar Bauman, who just keeps stretching it.
Yeah, Briar makes it look effortless. Still, they're all about equal distance back there. Bromley trying to keep his ride going. And that had to hurt a little bit there with no seat pad. Hitting a little bump there coming into turn 1.
I also want to mention in second place, Halbert, third in points coming into this race. Brandon Robinson, who's fourth in this series, as we mentioned earlier, and Bromley's now out. Robinson, by the way, didn't line up tonight with a foot injury after he ran in the wall in the semi, and now Bromley's run, which looked so promising early, is over.
Yeah, he was looking to get another fifth place finish there, running real solid. But Bauman, this guy is effortless. I haven't seen anybody ride at this level look this calm in many, many years.
And that's scary news for everybody else. If you're Bromley and you're bummed, I got good news. It's a doubleheader. He can come back tomorrow night and try to avenge it. Everybody else has got to try to figure out how to catch this guy, Briar Bauman. Briar Bauman dominating here on the Indian motorcycle, backing by Progressive. And the Nyla Motorsports Indian machine here of Sammy Halbert. Wait a minute. I think Halbert's making a little gasp.
Yeah.
Race. Go for it here.
Yeah, it looked like he narrowed the lead down a little bit. Caught a line that he likes. Maybe a couple little bobbles by Bauman, but certainly it looks like Halbert's inching forward on Briar Bauman for the lead.
I gotta admit, Halbert, he's had a couple races with a few mechanical problems that set him back in the grid. But every time he's had that bike and he has been 100%, he has been just as good as Bauman and Mies. He's beaten them both at times, and do not count the number 69 out.
Yeah, Sammy looking good as we see Jared Mies falling further back from Halbert. I got to think Halbert found something and he's moving forward. But as we're starting to approach lap traffic, that could work in Halbert's favor. It could work against him as well.
And Halbert has pulled away from Mies, who might just be holding on for podium points the way it's going to turn out tonight.
Yeah, you know, Mies, if he gets third, that's a good run. You know, he obviously has not been at his best today. He got beaten his semi at the line, you know, running third. Third's not a bad finish. Off days, getting third, that's a good one.
Yeah, and he was always consistent throughout his career. Once he got in this Indian a few years ago, then the race wins started coming at an alarming rate for Mies. But consistency has never been a problem. But right now, Bauman going next level. Let's see if Halbert can keep the pressure on. I think in that last couple of laps, the exchange and lappers, Bauman might have stretched it a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes the lappers, they get the blue flag and they'll move out of the way for the leader and they kind of get back in behind and try to catch back up and they forget that there's other guys coming up behind. So certainly it can be an advantage for the leader, and sometimes it works against them as we come up on 47-year-old Larry Pegram.
Good to see Larry still out here getting it done. Just help us on this show. Look at the graphic there. Bauman won 5 races en route to the title last year. He might have 5 already if he can get this one. So even better in his title defense, potentially, than he was in his first championship a year ago.
Yeah, and so far, Mies has 3 wins this year. Bauman about to get his 5th. If it comes down to a tiebreaker, you know, right now, Bauman's got the nod. You know, if he has a few issues along the way and they tie, believe me, I know. I lost on a tiebreaker back in 1991, and it's a terrible feeling. You certainly want to have more wins than the rider.
Oh, man. Still think about that one, don't you?
Oh, that one hurt. It still hurts.
Yeah, probably hurts the wallet a little bit, too. So you can bet that Bauman and Mies are thinking of that stat also. Want to have the most wins by the end of the year. Now, Mies said the goal this season was to improve the half-mile program. He was dominant on the miles a year ago, and he looked good at our opener in Florida. Won those 2 races, did Mies, but Bauman clearly has gone next level here as of late.
He certainly has, and not only next level for him as a rider, but I think we're seeing the SNS in-house factory team starting to gel as well. They seem to be at their best, too.
So now it's up to Mies, just as we said, try to take those podium points. Hey, Pearson is making a charge from Ford.
He certainly has closed the gap on Mies. Going to want to put some pressure on him here late in this race.
All right, good to see Pearson. You said you got a new team there?
Pearson, yeah, Rackley Racing Team. He was on the number 5 here motorcycle that we just saw Jake Johnson on the screen with RJ Performance. They had some sort of split about 4 races ago. First outing on this machine for this team with Rackley Racing and Robbie Pearson.
Yeah, and looking good. Maybe even an outside shot at the podium as Bauman keeps picking riders off. Dalton Gauthier in the 79 puts him a lap down. Saw him get around Beach earlier, so some big talent.
Yeah, coming up on Jeffrey Carver next. I mean, Briar Bauman is putting race winners a lap down here at the Devil's Bowl. Impressive performance.
Impressive is Pearson. He has caught Mies for 3rd.
Yeah, he got right up on him as we saw Price there. Here, Bauman running the very bottom, this is the Dallas Daniels line in turns 1 and 2, right below the rubber, goes up above the rubber here in turn 3 and 4. This is a downhill kind of rounding, arcing corner, keeping the wheels in line, riding the Devil's Bowl Speedway absolutely to perfection.
Meanwhile, SNS on board with Mies. That is Pearson down on the inside.
Yeah, Pearson getting a good run down off the bottom. Mies slips up just a little bit. Oh, and they split. Pegram going into turn 1.
So that's going to put Pearson up to third, at least temporarily, unless Mies can strike back. This is an upset special. Halbert in the 69, a solid run. It's the Progressive race to the checkers, 2 to go. So looking at first and second, fairly well established, but this final podium spot up for grabs.
Yeah, a little bobble there by Bauman going off into turn 3. That's, I think, the first mistake I've seen him make in the last 34 laps.
Want to throw it away with a lap and a half to go, and now the white flag deep inside this lap traffic. 5 is Jake Johnson, about to go a lap down from Halbert, who looks over. He's got a nice gap on third, who is Pearson.
Yeah, Bauman through 3 and 4. Final time, headed to the checker.
Said it was a technical track. It is, but he made it look pretty simple. Another win for Briar Bauman. And a great run for Halbert in second, and Robert Pearson on the box.
Yeah, great run by Robbie Pearson. First race out with the Rackley team, but man, we're seeing something special here in Briar Bauman. This is next level for him. Really seeing him come a long ways here in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I don't think even 4 years ago, maybe even 3, he was pegged as a guaranteed, this is going to be the next dominant force in this sport. But it has all come together for him. Now 5 victories on the season, which again matches his mark that he set last year en route to the title. So he is rolling, and there it is, Pearson edging Mies. So that's big in points. With a struggle for a bunch of the riders. Bromley, unfortunately, back in 16th after the problems with his seat. Let's send it down to Kristen.
With his 5th win this season, his 3rd consecutive win, Briar building the momentum, but how much do you buy into the momentum and its effect on your program this season?
I've said it before, I just try and do my thing every time I get on the racetrack. So if I have a bad session, all I want to do is get back to the racetrack. I don't think momentum's so big for me. I think that just getting the opportunity is me. That's who I am. It's how I was raised. Just go out and give it everything you have, every chance you have, and try and learn from what you're doing. So yeah, obviously we have some momentum going. The bike is working great. The team's incredible, and it's rolling well. But I want to go out again tomorrow because there's a few things I think we could fix from tonight. All in all, great night. Feels good to be back, and feels better to be in Texas.
I don't know if anyone enjoys just living at the racetrack and hanging out with his friends as much as Briar Bauman. And the wins, well, that is a huge bonus on top of that. Stay with us.
Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. By Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track. And by Progressive Insurance, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track.
Big night for Briar Bauman, now 15 up on Mies in the standings.
Yeah, that's pretty significant for these two this year. Biggest point lead either way.
Sammy Halbert making up a little bit of ground and now solidly in third after some problems for Brandon Robinson, who was not able to compete in the main event tonight. Let's check in with our second place finisher.
Sammy Halbert finishing second here tonight. Sammy, this track was a wild card. Like, we didn't know what to expect moving into this race. And even, you were just telling me, the line even changed. You didn't know what to expect going into that main event. How did you adjust?
Yeah, I kind of had a game plan to run a bit lower, but then and tried that at the first lap or so. But Briar was so high, and I was like, I need to adapt. And so I went high, and then kind of find a balance between not that high. And I started inching up on him a little bit there. But then I don't know if he changed his line or I just made some mistakes, and it went the other direction, unfortunately. But yeah, it's stoked to be up here on the box, and I'm going to try to do it again tomorrow.
And how about this? So Jared Mies thought he was settled in for third and just trying to take as many points as he could, but Robert Pearson striking late. Pearson was way back early, and this move right here, running the low line, was able to seal the deal. Send it back to Kristen.
Robert Pearson's last podium was at the Minnesota Mile in 2018, and after taking 4 races off, to come back and have a showing like this, what does that mean for you?
Oh, it means a lot. You know, I was watching the last 4 races, and, you know, the last 2 were at Williams Grove, where last year I thought, you know, I had a chance definitely at the podium, maybe, for the win. So to have these guys kind of step up when I didn't have anything, I wanted to come and at least get a podium before the end of the season. So to get it at the first race out, it was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, and I'll have a chance to replicate that. Our next race, again, the doubleheader, Devil's Bowl Speedway. That'll be coming up right after this. Chris Carr, what do you think? Technical track, except Briar Bauman made it look simpler than it is.
Yeah, he's been doing that quite a bit this year, making everything look easy. I think we'll see some good racing next time around, and look forward to watching the boys go at it.
Rocket James Rispoli rocketing to the top of Production Twins, and Dallas Daniels on top again in singles. We'll have more coming up right after this. From Texas, for Kristen Beat and Chris Carr, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.
And welcome back out here to the Texas Motor Speedway. It is Progressive American Flat Track, round number 4 at the Mission Foods Texas Half Mile, presented by Roof Systems. Still under a little bit of a weather delay right now. The track is nice and shiny. If we can, Mother Nature will stop doing what she's doing, we'll get the trucks back out there, pack this thing in. And you know what, folks? If we get on the racetrack, it is going to be super fast. Mother Nature waters the racetrack better than anybody else can. So we're going to be coming back in just a little bit and check in throughout the evening. Here coming up on our Mobile View big screen on the outside, turn number 3, we're going to put on last year's race from Devil's Bowl Speedway. It was a back-to-back doubleheader. Here is night number 2. We'll be back with any updates here soon.
Brief time for those in the Progressive American Flat Track Series to relax and then come back for the second leg of a doubleheader here at Devil's Bowl Speedway. Briar Bauman got the drop on everyone the last time. Can they pick up the pace and challenge him on night 2?
The world's premier motorcycle international event.
It takes stout lads like them to go for this kind of competition.
It draws the who's who of cycling and the finest riders on 2 wheels competing, followed by thousands of loyal fans.
We tear our insides out to win. You can't think, you can't remember what you do or say. There is no thinking. Our hearts beat, but our minds are dead.
It's not easy to lean into turns at over 100 miles an hour.
Legalized insanity.
He's gonna score.
What's it all add up to? The most thrilling spectator sport in America. It adds up to life itself. It adds up to the pain of losing and the thrill of winning. To race is to live.
Progressive American Flat Track rolls your way here at NBCSND Roof Systems of Dallas Half Mile 2, presented by Law Tigers here in Mesquite, Texas. Briar Bauman not just winning, but dominating on night 1. See who can strike back. Jared Mees off the podium, ended up 4th. The late pass from Robert Pearson, so he's got vengeance on the mind. And Sammy Halbert, who has been strong all year, did it again. He was a runner-up and was even closing at Bauman at times. Jason Wygant, the 7-time Grand National champion, Chris Carr, along with Kristen Beat, giving to the call. A good race last time.
Yeah, let's go racing, guys.
Here comes your winner. Production Twins main event on the Harley-Davidson. James Rispoli wins another one. There's your winner, Dallas Daniels, 4th win of the season. 17 years old. What a race it was. The number 1 rider looking for his 3rd win in a row. The double checkered flag is out for Briar Bauman.
That was a clinic for sure, yeah.
So smooth.
Yeah, smooth was Bauman. What do you think, Chris? Does Mees have something in the tank here?
He's going to have to find something in order to run down Bauman. The script has been flipped. There's no more seesaw. Mees is going to have to rebound now.
3 wins in a row for Briar. Meanwhile, Brandon Robinson, a rough go of it at our last event.
Yeah, so round 9 here at Devil's Bowl Speedway in Texas didn't go quite to plan. We had a decent day starting out early, qualified 6 or 7, somewhere in that range. And first lap of the semi, we were nose to tail and just got about 6 inches too wide coming off turn 4 and smoked the wall and really just kind of crushed my foot against the wall and in between the bike. And got a couple breaks on my right foot right now. So obviously we're sitting out round 10 today and trying to be optimistic and hopefully make it back at some point this season if we can.
Oh, that is not a good prognosis, but getting the call up Morgan Mishler in the 13. He will ride Robinson's machine, backed by Ruth Sisters of Dallas. Always up front in the singles division. We'll get to AFT Super Twins highlights from our first semi here. And Jeffrey Carver looking good.
Yeah, gets a great start as we look back through the field at the 79 of Gautier. Stubs his toe going into turn one. That hurt. That steel shoe came all the way back up and hit him in his lower back. That's how twisted he got. He's going to pull off from there.
Man, that is last year's singles champ rookie in Super Twins trying to adapt to the big bikes. Adapting well here is Carver, who is so-so last night, definitely improving on the Happy Trails racing machine, taking the win in this semi. We go to semi number 2. Briar Bauman, great start on the inside.
Yeah, Bauman been getting really good starts on these half miles. He knows track position out front is the way to go. Gets the wheels back in line coming off of turn 2 and marches to another victory.
And Robert Pearson, who's darn strong up on the podium in our last main event, continues that good riding with second. But Briar Bauman has been unstoppable so far.
I feel really good on the bike right now. The team, Indian Motorcycle, powered by Progressive, SNS Cycles, the whole crew, we're chipping away at her. I keep saying the same thing and probably sound like a broken record, but I'm just trying to learn about the bike. I don't know a whole lot about it. I do right now. I'm getting better, and I'm just trying to get better, use that to get better on the track, and just try and grow as a racer.
A scary thought that he's just getting better and better. Will anyone be able to knock Briar Bauman off tonight? We'll find out in the Super Twins main event later. We're about to transfer over to the singles division where Dallas Daniels has been making headway big time as of late.
Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Honda's all-new Talon 1000 X4, the official sports side-by-side of American Flat Track. By Vance and Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. And by Progressive, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track.
AFT singles class riders getting ready for their main. The 32 of Dallas Daniels on a huge roll, and earlier Kristen Beat caught up with him.
Dallas Daniels has earned 4 wins in the 2020 season in the AFT singles class, including one here at the Dallas Half Mile. Dallas, what did you learn from night 1? And kind of take me through this turn 2 action. Last night, a few riders in the singles class being pitched sideways. What helped you get through this section?
Yeah, with this new racetrack, a lot of people have not been here before, actually, maybe even the whole paddock. I know a lot of crew chiefs have been here, but one of the things with this racetrack is they actually got a lot of rain before this, so they're trying to wheel pack it and get the dirt dry, and what that causes is ripples in the racetrack, which is basically ruts from the tires. And what happens is you get up into it and your wheel wheel gets in one and your front wheel gets in the other, and then it gets sideways, so we want to try to stay away from those. And also with this corner right here, turn 1 and 2, coming out of the corner, we're going sort of uphill onto the back straightaway and then back downhill into 3, so it's really a unique layout, something none of us have ever really seen before. Both turns are completely different. 3 and 4 you definitely need to pay attention to, because on exit it really tightens up going onto the front straightaway, and there's a wall right there. And we've seen a few people get into it today, and actually I think Brandon Robinson broke his foot and some people were getting hurt off it. So that's really a big thing you want to pay attention to, because if you time it wrong or you get something wrong, then you're going to be into the wall, and that's a chain reaction to people behind you, so we don't want that. And I think the key to that is just paying attention to make sure you don't get on the gas too fast.
Wow, 17 years old. He's got a lot of knowledge already.
Yeah, he's wise beyond his 17 years, that's for sure. There's a bright future ahead for that kid.
And you can see it's paying off in points now, 22 over Henry Wiles, who's 3rd, and then Daniel's teammate Mikey Rush in the Yamaha is 3rd. So they've got to track this kid down. He is pulling away at a scary rate in this singles championship. Here he is battling with his teammate in the semi.
Yeah, got a good run through 1 and 2 with Mikey Rush making a mistake coming off the corner. Marches on to another semifinal victory.
Maxwell right there behind him. So that is AFT Singles presented by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys semi number 1, as Daniels has it dialed. Here is your battle. Whale almost able to get Rush here at the end.
Yeah, comes up pretty close, but not quite. Right there at the end.
Okay, so that's semi number 1, a Yamaha 1-2, Tanner Dean and Trent Lowe finishing in the top 5. We go on to semi number 2, try to find some challengers. No surprise, Henry Wiles, 2nd in the series, running strong here tonight.
Yeah, Henry having a much better weekend here in Dallas than he did at Williams Grove. He's going to need even more improvement to narrow in on the points championship.
Yeah, he needs a victory here because momentum is definitely slipping in the direction of Daniels. Ready to go racing, but let's send it back to Kristen.
The biggest story in the AFT singles class is Dallas Daniels. 4 wins this season. He is going for a three-peat in consecutive wins here tonight. The question is, who can block this offense? Well, tonight, Henry Wiles is going to try. He told me that after a gearing change, the RMR Hondas have found their sweet spot. But guys, tonight, Henry Wiles is running on all cylinders. He said, tonight, I'm going to win or fold the handlebars trying. I will snap the throttle cable before I let up. Guys, he is so focused, so determined tonight. And after 2 RMR Hondas earned the top spot of the podium at round 9, a battle of brands, Honda versus Yamaha in the AFT singles class.
All right, thanks, Kristen. Let's see what Hammer and Hank has got. He can get a hook in the kid. Mikey Rush, Morgan Mishler, no surprise. Those guys have been strong all year. They're in contention. This should be a good one.
It should be. You know, somebody's going to have to step up. You got a 17-year-old kid gaining confidence by the week. Somebody needs to thwart that just a little bit.
Yeah, Henry Wiles, definitely one of the most headstrong riders out there and a veteran at 36 years old. And Mikey Rush is tough on any terrain. So 2 of the older riders going to try to take it to the youngest, the 32 of Dallas Daniels. We are ready to go racing. AFT singles here from Texas.
As they start to bring the revs up, first yellow light's on for 5 seconds, second one comes on, and then it's quick. Right to the green. Henry Wiles with a great start off the inside.
Oh, he was quick, putting that Richie Morris Racing Honda to the #1 spot. So that's the first job for Wiles. Put the rest of the competition behind you. He needs to win desperately, and he's got Mikey Rush and Morgan Mishler behind him.
Yeah, Dallas Daniels sitting back there in 4th. You know, he hasn't been this far back all week. It'd be very interesting to see how he handles that as he comes up the inside of Mishler, headed off into turn 1.
Well, it's already got 1 pass made up to 3rd, and not too far back. Mishler trying to repay the favor. Daniels got it locked down.
Yeah, as Mikey Rush putting a little pressure on Wiles for the lead as they go through turns 3 and 4.
Mikey Rush, can he hold Dallas Daniels off? Daniels already looking for running room.
Yeah, Daniels sets up a little high. Oh, darts really low. That right through the middle of the corner. Rush moves up a little wide. Holds him off just enough.
All right, this is the good race you want to see in this class. Daniels dominated the last time. They're making it a lot tougher on the kid now.
Yeah, he's trying to find his way by there early. He doesn't want to let Henry Wiles get him. Daniels goes a little wide. Whoa, turns up underneath. Rush moves a little wide. Daniels gets just enough of a drive, runs it up the inside.
Oh, that was beautiful. Chris Carr started high, went low, and already going to the lead.
Yeah, he's getting through the bottom of turns 3 and 4 really well, and that setup in turns 1 and 2. Let's see if he can do the same thing here with Wiles coming down the backstretch. That was a classic way to ride the Devil's Bowl Speedway.
Yeah, he's young. He said it's one of the new tracks in the circuit. It's also one of the old tracks, right?
Yeah, well, this track was established in 1949. They had nationals here back in the 90s. Other series ran here in the early 2000s. And so it's not a stranger to motorcycle racing. It's Daniels. Oh, great drive coming off at turn 2. Does the same thing he did to his teammate.
There it is. Yeah, he loves that line. And just like that, he has climbed from 4th to 3rd to 2nd and now to the lead and already pulling away.
Yeah, a couple little bobbles there by Wiles as Daniels went by. He stretches out 5-6 bike lengths immediately. This kid's on a tear.
Unreal. Couldn't compete for the championship a year ago only because he had to wait till he was 16 to be eligible to race.
Yeah, it's amazing to see what Dallas Daniels has done in a very short time in his career. I think he had 8 starts last year. Lima, Ohio was his first event at the end of June, and with COVID and the whole pandemic, and to see where he's come in just the last 16, 17 races, he's beaten a 28-time Grand National flat track winner in Henry Wiles.
Yeah, these guys are not slouches. Often this is the class of the rising stars, but with Wiles and Rush, these boys have been around. They've won races at the highest level, and they're battling with each other, but Daniels is getting away.
Yeah, while they go back and forth, Daniels gets a little smaller in the distance. That was a great pass by Rush. He kind of accelerated him off of turn 4, dove low under Wiles going into turn 3, see if Wiles can regroup and return the favor.
Now looking at the Yamaha 1-2 of the Estenson boys, 32 and the 15. See if anyone else can get in that battle. Mishler not too far back and forth.
Yeah, Mishler running a little wide like he normally does there through turns 3 and 4. He wants to get toward the front too.
And Dallas Daniels making short work of the field again, but the racing behind him is fierce on a very technical racetrack. So anything can happen down the stretch. Roof Systems at Dallas half mile presented by Law Tigers. Great racing in our AFT singles class for second on back. Dallas Daniels has checked out again, but Rush and Wiles here 15 and 17 still duking it out.
Yeah, 2 veterans in their early to late 30s doing everything they can to chase down the 17-year-old Dallas Daniels. What an impressive run by this young kid. I can't say enough about him right now. Obviously, he's marching on. These guys have won nationals at the top levels of the sport, and this young kid in less than 20 starts is showing them the way around.
Well, Estenson Yamaha announced their team rider lineup last year, and Daniels was already on it, even though they knew he would miss half of the races, waiting for his 16th birthday. A lot of hype on him. Won the AMA Nikki Hayden Horizon Award as your outstanding amateur, and he has every bit lived up to the hype. Good fight back here, though. Ingerbritsen and Mishler, 54 and 13. They've been battling the whole time.
Yeah, and Ingerbritsen was really good in last night's race. He's trying to come forward. He passed Henry Wiles on the last lap to garner the second position. See if he can make a late race charge here again tonight.
Yeah, so you got some young riders, Ingerbritsen and Mishler here, and the veterans right in front of them. Let's see if they can make it a 4, 5, maybe even 6-rider battle for the podium spots.
Yeah, I saw the 38 of Tanner Dean in there as well between Mishler and Ingerbritsen. He's won races at this level before. He's going to want to get up in the mix too.
What do you think of this battle we've got between Rush and Wiles? Is Wiles learning some lines back here in third?
Well, I think Henry's probably in a little bit of a regroup mode, moving around just a little bit on the racetrack, trying to maybe calm down a little bit. What I've seen from last night's race and tonight's race, over-aggression on this track does not really pay dividends. Running it off in there deep and really throwing the bike into the corner makes you just kind of skate up the racetrack. And we've got a racetrack that's kind of narrowed up a little bit from last night. Track has dried out a little bit. The blue groove is formed pretty solid around the bottom, and moving up off of that is actually going to be slower tonight, unlike last night where it was quicker.
Well, remember, right before the race, Kristen Beach said how badly Wiles wanted this. He was willing to lay the bike down to win. Is he getting almost too desperate, wanting it too badly?
I wouldn't say he's too desperate. He doesn't appear to be riding desperately. He's not throwing the bike all over the place. Yeah, as he gets a couple little bobbles there coming off the corner. He's trying hard, but he's also getting the most out of the bike. I think veteran riders sometimes, they want to puff their chest out and say, yeah, I'll throw it on the ground. But, if that were the case, he'd be on the ground already.
Yeah, he knows better, apparently, but they have settled in a great battle for second. I don't think it's going to be for the win tonight unless the leader makes a mistake, but this is fantastic to watch. Two of the veterans showing how it's done.
Yeah, we saw Henry kind of go a little wide there in turn 1, a la Dallas Daniels out front, and try and get a good setup on Mikey Rush coming off the exit of turn 2. See if he does that again. Yep, goes a little wider, gets the bike turned early. He starts turning up the hill a little sooner. Didn't quite get the drive that time, but he's working out what it's going to take. But in the meantime, we got Tanner Dean and Michael Ingerbritsen catching the both of them.
I don't even know where Tanner Dean came from. We had Mishler and Ingerbritsen battling. Tanner Dean has gotten them both, and he might have a shot at the podium. He would love to get around Wiles, and he's got a shot at it. There he goes.
There was that aggression. Moved into turn 1 a little high, a little hot, and Ingerbritsen gets by him, as does Tanner Dean. Let's see if those guys can make any headway on Mikey Rush.
And now a couple other riders attacking Wiles, so he lost his rhythm. Let's see if these kids can run down Rush and maybe go for the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Henry Wiles, that was a big mistake right there, running a solid third with a chance at second back to fifth. He's going to have to regroup in a hurry here with coming up on 2 laps left.
So clock has expired. It is the Progressive race to the checkers. 2 laps to go. Kids trying to rush down for second. Dallas Daniels aiming for his 3rd straight race win.
Man, this is the most dominating performance in this class all year. A full straightaway, and that's a long arcing straightaway. Dallas Daniels put it on him.
And a class known for close racing, so the bar is set pretty high. What it would take to be dominant here.
Yeah, he looks like he's celebrating already there.
So, yeah.
See if Intermission can have a last lap gasp for the podium here like last night.
Remember, we had a race where he took a hand off the bar while battling side by side for the win. Checkers are out. Another one for Dallas Daniels, and Rush is going to hold on for second, making an Estenson Yamaha 1-2. Dallas Daniels just keeps rolling.
Yeah, and see Wiles dropping back to 6th there at the end. That's a big hit in the points right there. That benefits this young man right here, Dallas Daniels, quite a bit. Man, what a performance. This kid is on fire.
Rush is pumped for him. Whoa!
I think that was a little inadvertent there, coming in off the racetrack.
Yep. That's Tim Estenson, the team owner of that squad. He's pumped. Rush pumped. Everybody happy with the 1-2 and the quick development of this great talent, Dallas Daniels. Everybody happy over there with the dominant performance, putting the 2 Yamahas in the top 2 spots. Tanner Dean, that was a great battle for the podium. He had to make a lot of passes to get it. Edging Intermission and Mishler. Wiles, as we said, back to 6th. There is your entire field. Chad Coase, strong all weekend, but ends up 13th in this. Send it to Kristen.
Who can stop Dallas Daniels? 2 for 2 here in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, you made that pass look so seamless around Henry Wiles. How'd you get it done?
Yeah, tonight I think what it took was a really good start, and I got the total opposite of that. In my semi, I had a good start. I just cut down too low in the dust and spun up. Mikey got around me, but in the main event, I was hoping if I moved up a little bit, I could stay out of that, and my start was absolutely horrible, and I had to kind of work my way up, and there's a little bit of a rut going into 1, so Mikey made the same mistake. I passed him there. Honestly, I didn't know if they were right on me or if I had a gap, so I just kept charging. When I looked back after the checkered flag, I had, a straightaway lead, so we had a rough start to the year not making that main event, but man, this championship's within reach, but we're not going to give up. We're going to keep going, and big thanks to the whole team, my crew chief, James Hart, my dad, everybody else. Thank you. It's been an awesome year, and I can't wait for Atlanta.
Yeah, he wants to just keep rolling because he's going to get more race wins at this rate, and well over a full race lead in the standings of a while. So that one big mistake cost him a podium position. Rush, Whale, and Trent Lowe, that rounds out the top 5 in points. But right now it's all about just finishing positions in each race. Kristen.
2 Estenson Yamahas on the podium here, night 2 in Dallas. Mikey Rush able to lock it in here tonight, but Mikey working through a left knee injury. How did you manage that race?
Yeah, yesterday we caught our foot in a hole and going into turn 3, so kind of tweaked my knee to the side a little bit and kind of irritated it pretty bad. So I just kept telling myself and not think about it all day long, and the whole team being behind me just telling me, don't worry about it, you can let your riding do it, and just hopefully you don't have to put your foot down too much. And the boys they had the bike working so good tonight. Happy Dallas, my teammate got first both days. It's awesome for him. He's a great rider, and I'm glad we got 1-2 at least once this weekend, so I'm super happy.
It's good to see him happy for his teammate. Here's the mistake by Wiles that opened up the podium, Chris.
Yeah, got into turn 1 just a little bit hot. I'm sure he's hot because of it.
And Tanner Dean is able to grab the spot.
Tanner Dean with his second podium in 2020. He started from 7th and worked his way forward in the pack. Tanner, everyone was searching for moisture, searching for grip. Where did you find it?
I just rode around the bottom. I followed a few guys that passed me to begin with, and they were riding down low, and it seemed to be working for them. So I made a few mistakes here and there, but overall I think I ran a pretty good race coming from 7th. So let's hope to do this next weekend.
Trying to keep it going for podiums and trying to keep it going for wins is this man, Dallas Daniels. So we got one winner in the books, but more racing yet to come here from Texas. Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Law Tigers. You never have to ride alone. by Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track, and by Progressive, official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. It's the Roof Systems Dallas Half Mile presented by Law Tigers. AFT Singles Class is complete, so now we'll move on to the Production Twins class. The Rocket, James Rispoli, riding a huge win streak, a massive points lead. It is all coming together. The latest motorsports Harley-Davidson rider. And his buddy Chad Coase has been good this year, not quite at Rispoli's level lately. Let's get an update from Kristen.
Another weekend of running double duty for Chad Coase as he splits his time on the Wally Brown Racing Suzuki in the singles class and the Harley in the Production Twins class. Chad, tell me about the physicality required to run both classes.
Yeah, it's definitely it's different for sure. This track presents a lot of physicality in itself, and then obviously running double duty. And we're running pretty quick lap times here too, so with the new time format this year, it's like 25 laps per class, so it's definitely going to be tough for me, but obviously I like to accept the challenge. The benefits of doing well on both bikes are good for me, and as far as the Harley goes, somebody's got to beat James, so we've been second to him now a few times, and I'd really like to get the win on that, build some confidence, and then transition that to the 450. Hopefully get to learn some things coming off of that and apply it to running the 450.
Show you the highlights of that AFT Production Twins. Made another good start from Corey Texter, but man, Rispoli in the 43 just on a roll lately.
Yeah, he got a taste of winning, and he loves the flavor, James Rispoli. He's put it on him in this class for the good majority of this season. Once he started, there was no stopping.
Yeah, so here he is putting pressure on Texter and looking for an opening. Sets the technical track out here. What did you see?
Well, it looks like Texter struggled a little bit there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Rispoli on the proper line, outside in. Makes a nice, easy pass as we see Ryan Barnes high siding off the back of Jeremiah Duffy there. Got in a little target fixation, pushed the front end a little bit, took a look at him, and pop right over the top.
Wow, and Barnes, a title contender. Luckily, he was able to get up and he was okay, but that's going to hurt him big time in the points. On the restart, Texter tries to get the drop on Rispoli, but not quite.
Yeah, it was probably the last chance for Corey Texter to win this one. Rispoli takes off.
Unbelievable. Another race win for James Rispoli. Our only question now, can he keep the extreme level of excitement in his race win interviews coming? Here's Kristen.
James Rispoli going 5 in a row. Now, James, earlier in the day, you told me I'm not just going to roll over just because I have the points lead. I'm going to fight for every single win. You did just that. Take me through your mentality in these races.
Yeah, definitely. These guys didn't make it easy today. You know, I wasn't the fastest guy, kind of as usual in the last couple races. You know, Corey made a big charge back, which is, good respect, you know. He's not going to roll over either. You know, he wants to fight for this thing. He made one mistake, I went under him, that was it, you know. 5 in a row, dream come true. I'm stoked, and we're just gonna celebrate tonight. You know, this is a good one. This one was earned. Woo!
Okay, Rispoli still has the high energy interviews going. We're getting ready for our AFT Super Twins main event, but first let's check in with two riders on the Roof Systems of Dallas team, Brandon Price and Jay Maloney.
Yeah, this year I'm riding for Jerry Stensfield of Dallas, Texas Roof Systems, and kind of just put together a quick last-minute program. It was kind of on a whim, but it worked out really well.
This is my second year riding for Jerry Stensfield and Roof Systems team. He's helped my program tremendously. He's given me the bikes I need to win.
We had a bad injury last year, kind of put us back, but we're trying to get back on track, but the field is definitely tighter this year.
We've had some struggles, some mechanicals, just a lot of bad luck.
The pack's tighter, there's some new young guns coming up. Everybody can tell you the Super Twins is a different deal.
I don't have to worry about any of the mechanic side of the bike, so I can just focus on me and what I need to do.
And Brandon Price, fastest here in practice.
Just get back up to the front at the Roof Systems of Dallas, Texas, Dallas half mile. That's pretty awesome.
second year in Super Twins for Price. He's 6th in points. That's pretty good. Here's Dunlop Tire Talk. Chris Carr, take us through it.
Yeah, Dunlop DT4's R5 soft or R9 compound are the options for our Twins competitors. I suspect all of them are going to be on the R5 soft compound. It's been proven to go the distance and be a little bit quicker than the harder option.
Okay, so equal up then as far as tire compounds for most of these riders. We'll see how that plays out in our main event. Briar Bauman on a roll, dominated the previous event here in Texas. Second was Sammy Halbert. Bronson Bauman, he's looking for a podium or even a win. Should be some good racing, so stay with us. This is Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN, and the pinnacle of it, AFT Super Twins, and we're ready for their main event from Texas. Here's Kristen.
After winning his semi, Jeffrey Carver will be starting from the front row of this main event. And as you can see behind me, he likes to distance himself, kind of meditate before these main events. He said today, I am optimistic. Today we talked about what's clicking for him tonight. He said, I'm focused, I'm calm, I'm hitting my marks. When I roll up to the start, all I'm doing is staying in the moment, meditating, listening to the bike. That's when Jeffrey Carver thrives. Guys, Jeffrey's just operates differently. And tonight, for him, this is the calm before the storm.
That's right, because the action's about to pick up here. Bauman and Carver won the 2 semis. Really interested to see if Jared Mees can strike back after 4th in our last race. He's 4th on the grid. And that was a great ride for the podium for Robert Pearson. Maybe he can do it again.
Yeah, Pearson looked good in his new ride with Rackley Racing. He's going to want to be one step better if possible.
Yep, so he was 3rd last night. Briar Bauman trying to take control of the championship, but the always determined Jared Mees, the very cerebral Jared Mees. You know that he and Kenny Tolbert and everyone in that team have done everything they can to improve their performance this time.
Yeah, Mees is going to want to do everything he can to get into a race. As we look at the starting sequence, red light, your first yellow light comes on for 5 seconds. Next one comes on, and then it's a random 0 to 2 seconds before they go green.
And there it is, and an incredible jump just like he had in the semi for Briar Bauman.
Oh, somebody snuck up the inside. Sammy Halbert up to 3rd from a 2nd row start. That was a good first turn for him.
Trying to work on the 23 of Carver now is Halbert, who is in 2nd. And can they keep Briar Bauman? Can they stay in touch with him?
They're going to have to work pretty hard to do that. Carver in 2nd. A couple bikes back. Hits a little bump there. Gets it turned. But, man, Bauman's pretty solid coming off the corner, pulling a little wheelie. That bike's hooked up.
We got a good battle for 2nd brewing, Halbert and Carver. Where is Jared Mees? Not the start, the number 9. Multi-time series champ wanted.
Yeah, Mees back in 5th right now. 4 good guys, all who finished in front of him with the exception of Carver last night. Halbert, good job avoiding the rear wheel of Jeffrey Carver coming off, going into turn 1.
And we saw a crash earlier tonight in the production twins class with Ryan Barnes. Similar situation. These guys are used to running close, but that was too close from my vantage point.
Yeah, I'm sure it was too close from Sammy Halbert's point, too, as Carver keeps hitting those little bumps right there, but he maintains his position on the groove. Halbert's going to have to work pretty hard to get around him clean. This Pearson comes right up behind him.
So Pearson replicating his success from earlier today and last night. A nice comeback from the 62 of Dan Bromley. He is putting pressure on Mees in this group right here.
Yeah, Mees looks a little more comfortable, I guess, right now. Even though he's in 5th, he's staying in touch with this group in front of him. But he's going to have to find a way to be faster than them and on a different line, because this is going to be a very tough track for these guys to pass on tonight.
Briar Bauman to the Indian Motorcycle onboard, just stretching it. He, Dave Donati, everybody at that crew, that's the crew chief, they have this thing so dialed in the half miles as of late. He has been almost untouchable.
You know, Mees has been known as a half-mile specialist through most of his career. In recent years, has become almost taken the mile master moniker from Brian Smith. What we've seen this year, wow, Bauman, at Williams Grove, and then here, we see a new half-mile specialist in Briar Bauman.
Yeah, this could be 4 straight race wins on these half miles for Bauman. and he's leaving everyone behind. So we'll focus on this great battle here. Sammy Halbert almost had it.
Oh, almost got up under there. Didn't quite get enough pressure. Carver just a little bit wide. Halbert takes it.
Finally has it. I mean, what, 4 or 5 laps of effort from Halbert. Track the line not widening up, I think, as much as we saw last time we were here.
Yeah, this is, you know, one day later than last night's race. Track has dried out. They had rain from one of the hurricanes coming through earlier in the week. This track has been beat down. That moisture has kind of gone away underneath, but you see a couple little ripples there forming. They even put some orange, fluorescent orange marks on some of the ruts so the riders could see where they are. So they're trying to navigate around those as well, as Mees digging deep, trying to get back by Robbie Pearson.
Yeah, so Mees in 5th, Pearson 4th. Pearson was able to pass Mees late in our previous main event. Now Mees trying to turn that table and flip it, and I think he's got it. No!
Not quite. Man, that was a heck of a run right there. Jared really got through 3 and 4 good that time. He's going to sit here and try and put as much pressure on Robbie Pearson, kind of maybe return the favor a little bit from last night.
Hammer down for Jared Mees, headed to the front. Can he make a pass? He's trying inside, outside, everything. But Pearson's a veteran and is able to hold those advances back. A lot on the line here in Texas. Halfway mark of this Ruth Sissons Dallas half mile presented by Law Tigers. Briar Bauman long gone up front, but everything else, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th is close. There is your leader, Bauman, your defending series champ. Wow, this track's getting rough.
Yeah, we see those sealed off soft spots. You know, the kind of water starts to pump up late in the evening as they ride across. A couple little chatter bumps there going into turn 3, a little difficult for them to navigate.
How much does that affect the motorcycle traction and all those things?
Well, the lap times have proven to be pretty decent still. You know, lap times very similar to what they were last night. They just got to, look at Mees trying to make a run around the outside of Robbie Pearson. Doesn't quite make it work. Gets a good drive off of turn 4.
Turning that outside into the inside into turn 1 and 2. Pearson holds him off. They've got Jeffrey Carver right in front of them, and Sammy Halbert trying to pull away. Needs a good drive off.
Yeah, Jared kind of letting the bike roll, rolls it up high above the one set of ruts, then tries to turn and make the straightaway a little bit longer than Robbie Pearson coming off at turn 4.
No, he's trying everything. Pearson meets him down on the bottom.
Yeah, Pearson doing a good job. He's riding fast enough to stay with Carver, but he's not leaving the door open for anybody to come behind. So it's kind of like a good offense/defensive line as he gets a good run up Carver. Carver goes a little wide. Pearson and Mees up the inside.
I did not see that coming. It looked like a battle between the two of them. Instead, they gang up on Carver, who made one. Was that a mistake there, or was he trying an outside line?
Yeah, I think Carver was trying to hold his position. He got a little wide through the middle, through some of the bumps, goes just wide enough for Pearson to get a good run, and Mees followed him.
So that was the S&S onboard, and you saw exactly how that went. How about Robert Pearson? A surprise podium in a first run for a new team the last time we were here, and he is backing that up.
Yes, he is. Jared Mees doing everything he can to try and get by. But, you know, Robbie Pearson's a veteran racer. He may not have a lot of podiums in his career, but he's won a lot of races and raced with guys like Jared Mees on a lot of non-national events through the years. At 35 years old, he's no spring chicken, but he's got the experience of many years of racing. He knows what he needs to do in order to hold his spot.
Well, he's had Mees draped all over him for the majority of this main event, and Mees has not been able to figure out a way around.
Yeah, Robbie's not going in and throwing the bike into the corner. It doesn't really allow for that, this track. With those stutter bumps going into the corner, you almost want to kind of keep your wheels in line, not really pitch it in, as Mees tries to make a run around the outside, kind of gets in front. Pearson moves up the racetrack just a little bit, gets it turned, and beats him to the corner.
That was scary knowing that wall was coming up. We've seen some riders get up against it out of turn 4. Mees gave it a shot, then ducked back down to the inside. He's working on it. He's trying different things. So far hasn't been able to do it. Oh, this is significant. If this race ends like this, 25-point lead for Bauman. That is the golden number in AMA racing because you get 25 points for a race win. He'd have a full race advantage if it ends this way.
Yeah, that's kind of like having an ace in your pocket. You can go out at a round and have an absolutely awful day, maybe even a DNF, and guarantee that you leave with at least a 1-point lead. So that's a very significant number for Briar Bauman to have if he were to bring it home this way.
But Mies still has a shot at taking second away from a very stingy Robert Pearson.
Yeah, and this is significant. You know, the difference between fourth and third isn't just a point, it's 2 points. So Jared Mies knows that, you know, to get to the end of this thing and to have a chance at winning the championship, every point counts. And in this case, it's 2 points if he can make the pass on Robbie Pearson. He lost that 2 points last night.
And it's way up ahead in second. You can't quite see him there, Sammy Halbert. So what was a multi-rider battle is now down to 2. Pearson doesn't want to give up podiums. He's on a new team. I'd assume there's probably some money on the line to get in the box.
Yeah, the little extra bonus money. Podium finishes pay a little extra than certainly a fourth place does. So yeah, there's some cash on the line for Mies, and Mies loves cash.
Okay, so all sorts of motivation for these two. Ever since this guy in the 27, Pearson, has gotten on this bike, he has been quick both times out here at Texas.
Yeah, and you know what? Mies has done just about everything that this racetrack will allow him to be able to get by Robbie Pearson other than to run him over. And for the most part, you got to give Jared a lot of credit. He's not afraid to run people over. We saw that at round 1 in Volusia. But man, Mies got his hand full, not only with the racetrack, but with a very, very good and defensive Robbie Pearson.
We got Carver and Bronson Bauman next. Oh, another outside attempt by Mies.
Yeah, got a good drive, but he's not able. I think he's trying to bait Pearson into running a little wide and then turning under. You know, last time he went that high, Pearson kind of moved up on the racetrack. You saw him just kind of back off, hoping that he'd do it again, but Robbie didn't take the bait.
Had a quick check there of Halbert in second, deep into lap traffic. Then we go back to this battle, 27 and 9 for third.
Yeah, real interesting. These two guys coming up on 3 or 4 riders in front of them could determine who gets the last spot on the podium.
Pearson's done everything right so far, but yes, the lap traffic could untangle everything and allow him to give that podium spot up, because he knows Mies is going to throw everything he has at it.
Yeah, Jared doing everything possible. Like I said, short of running Robbie Pearson over, Pearson doing a great job as we've got the progressive race to the checkers, 2 laps to go for a leader.
Ooh, time running out for Mies, who at least wants the podium on a bad night. Robert Pearson wants it as well. Difference between third and fourth, a trip to the podium, that's certainly big. And the 27 not making it easy on Mies.
Now, Pearson, absolutely fantastic job.
Oh,
Mies! Man, runs up against the wall, tries to turn up underneath, see if he can make a move here in the middle of the corner. Pearson thwarts it.
Meanwhile, everything going perfectly to plan for Briar Bauman, looking for his 6th win. That would be a career high already, and there it is. Another victory for Briar Bauman. And let's see the race of the checkers. There's Halbert, and Pearson does it again. Back-to-back podiums.
Yeah, great job by Robbie Pearson. They were actually running down Halbert there at the end. Their feverish battle was moving them forward. Yeah, great job again for the Rackley team. And got to give a nod to Mies on that. He fought really hard for those 2 points. He came up a little short, but he's a champion for a reason. He knows what it's all about.
Yeah, effort never in question for Mies, but he ends up off the podium 4th in both of our races here in Texas, while Bauman continues to roll. And Sammy Halbert, solid season for the Nyla Racing Squad, continues. There is your 18-rider field here at AFT Super Twins. Let's send it down to Kristen B.
Briar Bauman with a margin of victory, 4.39 seconds, to not only dominate one night, but go back-to-back. What does this say about you and your team?
They're so spot on. I mentioned it earlier. I wasn't really stoked with my bike in the main yesterday, even though we won, but there was so much more we could do, I think. And even in that one, turns 3 and 4 were so rough. It was like, it's good because we saw 2 totally different racetracks between the 2 nights, which is great for the racing. It kind of keeps you on your toes. You don't run 2 of the same places. So yeah, I mean, my team is so spot on. Indian Motorcycle, powered by Progressive. I'm just pumped, man. We're on a roll, and I'm really enjoying myself on the bike.
Yeah, I'll say Briar Bauman now 4 race wins in a row. and domination in the half miles, especially as of late. We'll talk to the rest of our podium finishers after a big night here in Dallas after this. Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. By Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track. And by Progressive Insurance, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. Briar Bauman, now he has that magic 25-point lead.
Yeah, 25 points is like an ace up the sleeve. He can have a really, really bad day and still lead with the point lead. That's a good one to own.
Yep, 25 points, the max you can earn on any race night. Let's check in second place finisher tonight, Sammy Halbert.
Sammy, second place 2 nights in a row to be on the podium back-to-back, a huge accomplishment for you and this team. During that race, it was a tough one to figure out. This track was a tough one to figure out. How did you and your team adapt throughout the weekend?
Yeah, well, we kind of put ourselves in a hole in that semi. Really blew the start, and you know, today was even harder to pass than yesterday. But luckily, the main event start worked into my favor. I was able to sneak through the inside in turn 1 and 2, come out in third. So that was nice, and I knew I had good speed because we showed it in that semi, and then was able just to kind of keep that confidence and work on Carver. And would have been nice to get by him sooner and see if I could have latched on to Briar, but he was on rails like normal. Just got to keep this rolling and. Hope to get some more wins before the season's out, for sure.
Slam and Sammy's in the hunt for those wins, and this, a great battle for third. Got to give credit to Pearson, huh?
Yeah, first back-to-back podiums for Robbie Pearson in his career. Holding off a 5-time champ is impressive. Here's Kristen.
Bugs, I just heard you telling Briar, man, I worked hard for this one. How did it feel to go out there and battle bar to bar with Jared Mees and come out victorious?
Oh, man, it felt good. I mean, both days we battled hard, and yesterday was a little bit easier because I was chasing him, and then when he was chasing me, I was giving it all, and you know, he about got around me going into 1 lap, and then he was on me the last lap, so I was just I wasn't going to give up that easy. I was glad to bring it home with another podium.
Hey, darn right, those feel good. We're going to the short track in Atlanta, a little bit shorter than this one, so that could change it all up as the chase for Briar Bauman and James Rispoli and Dallas Daniels continues for everyone. Those are the 3 riders to beat in the respective classes. Good racing here at Texas. Thanks for joining us for Chris Carr and Kristen Beat. I'm Jason Wygant. Let's see if Jared Mees or the rest of the field and Super Twins can figure out Briar Bauman. And as for the singles class, man, Dallas Daniels living up to the hype, the 17-year-old dominating his teammate Mikey Rush right behind him. Thanks for watching Progressive American Flat Track. See you next week.
And welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway out here. It's round number 4 of the Progressive American Flat Track Series. It's the Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems of Dallas, Texas. Mother Nature is still watering the racetrack right now. We are still in a holding pattern right now, so we'll keep you up that. Right now, we're going to check in with Kristen Beat. She's down there with the 2020 Production Twins champ, James the Rocket Rispoli.
Well, now racing in the Super Twins class. James, we are just kicking back, enjoying a little time together as it rains, enjoying some mission chips as well. What is it about those racing style chips? You seem to be really enjoying them.
Well, I would just say that they're light, you know, they're crunchy, there's unlimited, so definitely stacking the pounds on. I would normally say that it'd be sunny Texas, we're out here, but it's a bit doom and gloom right now, and I'm hoping we get it in. I got a flight at 6 in the morning, so we kind of need to get this in. I don't really want to be changing the old flight situation logistics, but I think with the rain, if we can get it in tonight, it'll be really good. I think the track will completely be different. Obviously, they were prepping for it today. It was kind of wild earlier today in the track, and they're kind of prepping for this, so I'm hoping we can kind of roll it in, get it moving, and yeah, we can get out of this hospitality tent and do some riding.
So, James, during a situation like this, I mean, you've raced in Europe, you raced all over the world, and there's sometimes ends up being weather issues like this. As a rider, what do you do? Do you try to hydrate? Do you stretch? Do you just snack? Do you kick back? What's going on up here?
Well, I just threw down a cookie right now, so I'm just getting vibey. Literally, in dirt tracks, a lot different because it's super fast paced, right? So, like, yeah, we usually don't have long durations where we can kind of sit and kick it. Like road racing, you've got, 6 hours between FP1, FP2, or, 5 hours. So you're like out of your leathers, you're chilling, you're getting back in your routine and whatever. So here it's kind of interesting. It's really cool that we have a hospitality tent that we can come here and kind of relax and, get some good food and stuff like that. But it's one of those things. I think everybody's just raring to go. Everybody wants to get back out on the track. Everybody wants to, get the race done. We all train. I mean, the top guys train so hard to show up here and then to not race and go home or wait till a day race tomorrow is, that's not what we're here for. I think 90% of everybody would like to race at 3 in the morning versus come here at noon tomorrow and try to get it in. So for me, it's about hydrating, get some food down, because when it's really, really tight, it's hard to eat. So I'm eating a lot more like bicycle, like gels and stuff like that, like from that industry. But yeah, it's good. And, just relax, I guess, get the vibes up, really just feel it.
Get the vibes up. Now, I know Ricky Rackman is around here as well in the Mission tent. Ricky, who you got?
Well, I'll tell you, we started this day with such incredible high hopes. We were talking to Brandon Robinson, and we're like, it's going to be a great day. We're going to get out there racing. It kind of sucks right now, right?
Yeah, we're under a little bit of a rain delay, so we're just hanging out here in the Mission Hospitality tent and just trying to wait the storm out, man. Hopefully it stops here pretty soon, and if it does, we're going to have a bad, fast track, so looking forward to that.
And we're not just saying it because we're sitting here with all the big people from Mission right now, but it is kind of nice that we are involved with a sponsor, so at least while we're sitting here in the rain, we are eating good.
Oh, yeah, we're eating phenomenal, man. I love this whole Mission Hospitality tent, man. We get, lunch and dinner. It's just a great atmosphere to bring to American Flat Track, and it just makes our sport better and better every year.
With this much downtime, does it take you off your mental game at all?
I wouldn't say too much. We prepare for these kind of things. We've grown up having rain delays and whatnot. So it's just a little curveball. That's all it is. So we're making game plans for changes that we're going to make for the track, because we know it's going to be different from what we've practiced and qualified on so far. So those are really the biggest things. It's just trying to be prepared for when we do get back on track and having the right changes to the bike.
But the moisture is a good thing. Well, maybe not this much moisture, but some moisture is a good thing.
Yeah, moisture is definitely a good thing in flat track, and it's definitely on a clay half mile like this. It should make it really fast. Like I said, hopefully it stops here pretty soon and we can get on the track, and if we do, it's going to be, like I said, bad fast.
Well, moisture is a good thing, Scotty, but we've had more than enough moisture, so we can stop right now. Back to you, Scotty.
I would have to agree with you, Ricky. It's definitely enough moisture. It can stop anytime, so we can start working on the racetrack. But they're still watering the racetrack right now, and I'm sitting up here drinking water and crackers, and they're down there having good Mission food and enjoying the atmosphere down below. So we're going to check back in with Kristen. She's down there with George Latest. Kristen B, what's up?
We're not taking a break, Scotty. I know exactly where you're going there. We're keeping this thing rolling. Pleasure. And, George, you and I were just kind of talking. James Rispoli, moving from production to Super Twins class, Harley. Anticipate this Harley is going to be most dominant this.
Having a little technical issue. Mother Nature probably putting a little damper on it. It's hard to reach way over there. The Mission 10 is actually outside turn number 2 out here at Texas Motor Speedway. So while we work on Kristen's microphone, let's go back to Ricky Rackman down there. He's with some celebrities. Ricky, what's up, man?
I am, Scotty, and I figured if I want to find out what the deal is with this Texas weather, maybe I should talk to a Texan, and I found one right here with Richard Rollins. You are from this area. Have you always been from Texas?
Oh, yeah. I grew up right here just down the street. I grew up in Fort Worth, and now I'm in Dallas. So Texas born, Texas bred.
Okay, so what's the deal with this weather? When is it going to stop? And can you do anything to make it stop?
It's called May in Texas, And besides that, look, see, it just stopped. If you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait a minute.
You're one of the few custom car builders and fabricators and all the stuff that you do that makes cars that I still like. Like, sometimes I see some of these things, I think they're kind of ugly. What about motorcycles? Do you have a favorite motorcycle?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I'm a big Harley guy, but, I just bought a really large collection of flat track stuff out in Jordan, Minnesota. A guy named Denny Cannonberg, and they called him the Cannonball back in the early 70s, and he was sponsored by Harley. Just a real good championship bike rider, and bought 237 motorcycles up there.
237. If you were going to let me borrow one, you wouldn't even notice because you had 236.
I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to sell them all at no reserve in Labor Day weekend up in Auburn, Indiana. It's going for a good cause. We're celebrating Denny's life. He's 80 years old and still rides, trail rides, gets out there, loads and unloads his own bike. He's a rad dude.
That's really cool. Have you ever spent any time riding motorcycle on a dirt track at all?
Back when I was a teenager, I broke my collarbone trying to do a backflip before anybody had nailed it. And that was about the extent of my track days. This flat track stuff, though, I mean, they got some well, I don't even know what I can say. It's NBC. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting to.
They've got some. Back to you, Scotty.
They've got some for sure. I know what he's talking about, too. And Cannonbergs are actually good family friends. It's cool that Richard bought all of the collection up there from Sport Wheels, their own personal collection. Sport Wheels, the biggest motorcycle salvage in the world up there in Minnesota. And Richard bought their personal collection, and he's going to be auctioning that stuff off for charity. So that was Ricky Rackman down there with Richard Rawlings. Richard is actually our Grand Marshal of this race when we get started. Hopefully we get started. He'll be there in opening ceremonies. But he's out here having some fun. Looks like they're having a lot more fun over the Mission 10th than I am up here in the booth. But we are having some fun watching Mother Nature water the racetrack. Hopefully, we'll be on the racetrack here real soon. We're going to try Kristen one more time. Kristen, can you hear me? What you got going on?
Yeah, we have found a better spot to do this, Scotty. And I have Charlie Roberts, who's not only racing tonight in the Bultaco race, but he's also a representative from the Rookies of 79. First of all, tell me about your time out on track today. I know this track is going to be completely different tonight, but what's it like to get back on a half mile?
I tell you, I really like the Texas Motor Speedway. It seems to suit my style. It's different from Volusia in the fact that this is more run it in hard and stop, so point and shoot. Whereas Volusia is more of a corner speed kind of thing. So this suits my style. We're currently fast time and hoping that we get back on track and can finish the deal.
The other role you play at track on weekends, your participation with the Rookies of 79 charity, you guys just do so much for the riders, and it's so impactful for this sport. What would you like to tell folks at home?
I tell you, this week has been amazing. Mike Kidd, former Grand National champion, put on a golf outing to benefit the charity yesterday. He's walking around with a big check, says $5,500 on it. And then, believe it or not, we've already sold over $2,000 in merchandise tonight at the 10. Unfortunately, right now we're all on hold, but we're certainly hoping to get it back open. But it's amazing to me, the growth of the charity and the good that we're able to do. You know, Brad is one of our board members and one of our greatest spokespeople. But when you hear somebody like Brad or James Monaco or Jeremy Werner say what a difference it is in their life because of what you do, that's what it's all about, Kristen.
I love it. And if people want to contribute, where do they go?
They can go to rookie79.com. There's different rider funds. You can still donate directly to Brad Baker, Oliver Brindley, which is a great success story. We just recently purchased Oliver a $17,000 piece of equipment that is awakening his right side and giving him mobility. So again, rookie79.com. Any and every event. We have Facebook auctions every week with memorabilia. There's many ways to donate, but please just donate.
Thank you so much, Charlie. We love you being out here. Best of luck tonight if we get this one in. And Scotty, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking I wish I was in the Mission tent having some Mission food, some Mission chips, Mission dip, but I'm up here enjoying the scenery from up top. Hopefully we'll get this in, but we are doing our best right now. Mother Nature's still watering the racetrack. We're hoping to have an update here real soon. We've got some of the practice, and we just got started in qualifying out here. It's the Texas Half Mile and Progressive American Flat Track round number 4. The thing I'd like to talk about, one of our storylines coming into today is Jared Meese, 5-time champ. If you ask him, he's a 6-time champ. But if you ask Jared Meese how he was feeling coming in, it was kind of a secret. He has a left knee injury. That's all we've been told. But he is very impressive so far. He's qualified second so far, and that's just one round. And after his performance at the Atlanta Super TT, where he only got a couple of laps in the main event, I think I'm very impressed with how Jared Meese is doing right now. We'll see how the track will hold up for his standards and using his foot. But Kristen, you had a couple of calls with him. You talked to him earlier. What's Jared thinking so far, and what are your thoughts?
Thanks, Scotty. You know, when I spoke with Jared Meese earlier this week, it seemed as though he was particularly confident. And to be honest, I kind of doubted that because I know he's a rider who likes to play mental chess. He likes to tell people he's all right. It's no different than hockey or football. In sports, guys want to play down injuries to even tell themselves that they're capable of more than what they might be. But to see Jared go out there and be so dominant in practice and qualifying was a huge indicator as to the leaps and bounds he's made with his recovery. And a huge part of that is the fact CTI knee braces actually fabricated him a special knee brace for that specific injury. Of course, there's been a lot of speculation regarding that exact injury, but that knee brace, as we talked about earlier in the day, it proceeds further down the leg to give him extra support. It's also slim and sleek, so it fits underneath his leathers. It's giving him the confidence and support he needs to progress tonight, and I'm excited to see if he'll be able to not only be dominant in the main event, but potentially take a win, because this is the kind of track we can expect Jared Meese to be dominant on. Scotty?
I would agree. This is a track that Jared has gone, he's got 2 wins and a second place, so this is definitely a track that Jared, it's right there in his wheelhouse. So if his knee is feeling good, he's definitely going to be one of the guys to beat. Fast time out there was actually the number 1 bike, Briar Bauman, looked really good too. So it's a track for both of theirs. Those 2 riders both like this track, and it'll shape up to be some good racing if we can get back out there. Some other riders we were talking about coming in the production twins. Corey Texter, our points leader, he won here in 2019, the last time we were out here at Texas Motor Speedway, so he's definitely one to keep our eye on in that production twins. Production twins fastest rider right now, though, was actually the 25 of Ben Lau in qualifying number 1 with the 2:1.201. So he's a kind of a rider kind of under the radar that we haven't talked about a whole lot. He's one of the roof systems of Dallas, Texas riders, so I know he'd like to put a win together on his Harley. But we got a lot going on. They're still hanging out down there on the racetrack, waiting for an official announcement. We're doing our best to get the race in today. Rain date is tomorrow. We're, again, waiting on the official announcement right now, but we'll let you know anytime soon. We'll let you know what we hear up here in the booth. We're watching this beautiful facility. Hopefully it'll start drying out, but in the meantime, we're going to get some commercials taken care of, hopefully have an announcement here in the next future. If you're here with us, stop by, check out all the vendors underneath the grandstands. We're at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back to Texas Motor Speedway.
Cardo Systems is the official Bluetooth communicator for American Flat Track. Whether on the road or at the track, the Cardo Systems industry-leading mesh technology keeps you and your fellow riders connected. Racers like Sammy Halbert rely on Cardo for street riding entertainment, as well as a training tool at the track. All Cardo communicators are fully waterproof, dirt-proof, and feature sound by JBL. For more information, check out cardosystems.com and follow Cardo on all social media platforms at @Cardo Systems. Dunlop is proud to be the official tire of Progressive American Flat Track. What we learn from racing is rolled into our production tires, such as the Dunlop K180, a street-legal version of the aggressive DT3 flat track tire. With the K180, street riders can now have the authentic flat track tire experience. No other tire company has won more American motorcycle championships than Dunlop. Falken Tires is proud to be the official light truck tire of Progressive American Flat Track. Choosing the right tire for your truck or SUV is critical. And Falken has you covered, offering highway terrains to all-terrains through torture-tested mud terrains. For more information on Falken's full line of Wild Peak products, please visit us at www.falkentire.com.
Explore the full Indian motorcycle lineup, including the all-new redesigned FTR with 17-inch wheels and street-tuned suspension, or the new generation of a classic, the 2022 Indian Chief. For more info and to schedule a demo ride, visit IndianMotorcycle.com. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride. Klotz Synthetic Lubricants is proud to be the official lubricant of American Flat Track. Family owned and made in America since 1959. Klotz has built its reputation by answering the call of racers and performance enthusiasts who won't settle for anything less than superior synthetic lubricants. Racers and performance buffs around the world rely on Klotz to get them to the checkered flag. Order today at klotzlube.com.
SBS is your single source for brake parts and components. From pads to rotors, shoes, and other important parts, covering motorcycles, scooters, motocross bikes, ATVs, and UTVs. We create the power to stop you so you can go ahead. Find the right parts for your bike at www.sbsbrakes.com.
All right, we're back out here at Texas Motor Speedway. It is the Progressive American Flat Track Series round number 4. It's the Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems. Mother Nature is still watering the racetrack right now. While we sit back and watch what's happening on the racetrack, let's take a look back at the Atlanta Super TT.
We're going to tighten up the racetrack and potentially tighten up the racing. We're going to the short track, Dixie Speedway here in Atlanta. Briar Bauman is taking control of the Progressive American Flat Track Championship. Can Jared Mees fight back? Stay with us.
The world's premier motorcycle international event.
It takes stout lads like them to go for this kind of competition.
It draws the who's who of cycling, the finest riders on two wheels competing, followed by thousands of loyal fans.
We tear our insides out to win. You can't think, you can't remember what you do or say. There is no thinking. Our hearts beat, but our minds are dead.
It's not easy to lean into turns at over 100 miles an hour.
Legalized insanity.
He's gonna score.
What's it all add up to? The most thrilling spectator sport in America. It adds up to life itself. It adds up to the pain of losing and the thrill of winning. To race is to live.
It's the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track here at Dixie Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia, all presented by Law Tigers. Briar Bauman has won 4 races in a row and has completely changed the script in this Progressive American Flat Track Championship. It will be up to Jared Mees to try to fight back here before it's too late. But you never know when we switch to a different track who could get up front. Maybe Brandon Price, the sophomore, who has definitely shown speed in Super Twins this year. Jason Wygant and 7-time Grand National champion Chris Carr up here in the booth. Kristen Beat reporting from the racetrack. There you see it, Chris. Bauman pulling away in the standings.
Yeah, with a 25-point lead or 1 full race advantage, Jared Mees needs to get into a fight with Briar Bauman to reduce that gap.
Well, everyone expected those two to be the title combatants in 2020, and they have not disappointed.
Resilience. I mean, I think we showed it last year when we won our championship. I went through the air fence with my brother. They rebuilt the bike, got me going again. Kind of the same mentality this year. Just kind of try to be a little bit smarter about how we do it on my end more than the team's end. I keep talking about it, but I've really been trying to give them more information on the motorcycle. I think it's been showing on the half miles. We've been learning a lot about me, a lot about the bike, how it works, what I can do to make it better, how I can ride it better. So really, while we just focus on learning about the bike and what we can do better rather than just sending it like we did last year, I think that we've kind of gotten on a little bit of a roll. So if we keep that going, we'd be dialed.
We're definitely dwindling down on the rounds for sure, and my outlook right now is obviously just to go out there and win and get back to knowing what we've done in the past and what we can do and what the potential of all of us is, and that's to win. The last couple races, I felt like I've been a little bit off my game, to be honest with you, but want to get it back and finish out as strong as I can, and where things finish and fall into place is where they fall into place.
Well, let's see how they would fall into place here at Dixie Speedway. Give me some information here, Chris.
Well, we got a D-shaped red brick clay oval here at the Dixie Speedway. Variable banking. Its highest degree of banking is in the middle of the corners, which gives the guys a lot of a downforce. But tricky coming off the corners. That flattens out just a little bit, but it makes for multiple lines, lots of passing. Should be a lot of fun to watch these races here tonight.
Well, we'll get you started. This is Super Twins semi number 1 qualifying race. Sammy Halbert going after Briar Bauman for the lead. Both drifting up a little high, but Bauman's going to hold it.
Yeah, interestingly enough about this track, the blue groove isn't always the most grip. These guys are chasing the dark dirt on the inside and the outside, which makes for multiple lines and lots of fun to watch.
All right, Bauman holds on over Halbert and Carver. Gautier and Vanderkoy on their Harleys come in next. Actually, another Harley, Brian Smith, right behind them. We go to Super Twins semi number 2, Mies out front. Brandon Price right behind him.
Yeah, Mies goes right to the bottom off the start, kind of running below the rubber, drifts across it, going into turn 3, kind of makes his way up to the outside part of the racetrack. And,
hey, there's the racing. You're talking about 3 wide there, Price. You got the 5 of Jersey, Jake Johnson, and then Robert Pearson to the podium recently. So while Mies pulls away, you really did get to see how competitive this track is.
Yeah, it is pretty racy, and as the night goes on, I expect it to get better. There's a little bit more moisture. The dew in the air kind of settles on it, and a little bit of water truck. It should be fun.
All right, well, will it settle the score in the main between Bauman and Mies? And we're going to switch over to the singles class, where the 17-year-old Dallas Daniels has become a dominant force. Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Honda's all-new Talon 1000 X4, the official sports side-by-side of American Flat Track. By Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. And by Progressive, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. Beautiful downtown Atlanta. We are not far away. Woodstock, Georgia, the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track presented by Law Tigers, Progressive American Flat Track. And a new thing here tonight. It's going to be a good way for some young riders to learn the ropes of flat track. Kristen?
Rob McClendon, the promoter of the Road to AFT Invitational. Rob, tell me how important this program is to riders, and tell me more about the program in general.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazingly good for the riders because it gives them an opportunity to see what it's like to be in the pro ranks before actually turning pro, so they're not so green their first event. So it gives them experience, it gives them a challenge, and it really lets them see how they stack up against the pros to know if they're ready to turn pro or not. If you have an amateur rider out there and they're turning lap times that are competitive with the pros, then that's going to turn heads immediately, and that could work into some really legit sponsorship opportunities, which is, critical in this game.
There's one rider in particular that a lot of people have been talking about, Cody Kopp. What can you tell us about Cody Kopp?
Well, he's from Washington. He's got a really good mentor with his dad being Joe Kopp, a Grand National champion, but he's a really good kid in general. He's going to have his work cut out for him for sure. We've got a few other amateurs out there as well, but Cody's, after having the Horizon Award this year, he's going to have his work cut out for him, but, he's going to be the one to watch for sure.
We're getting good track time on a professionally prepped track, and so it's really cool AFT has given us the shot to come out here and do this. It's really big coming into a Grand National track. The speeds are up. There's a lot of eyes on you. It's fun, though, and just here to have fun, really. It's cool that they put us in front of everybody to show everybody what the talent is coming up this next year. There's a lot of fast kids in this amateur class right now, and a lot of speed will be pretty fast come next year, come AFT singles. There's a lot of us in this singles amateur class right now that are always giving each other a fight for a win.
Okay, maybe those riders will be battling these riders someday as we look at the pro singles division points.
Yeah, Henry Wiles 34 points down to Dallas Daniels is going to have to work real hard to reduce that gap. 6 races left. He needs to eat into that point lead.
So the kid's out front. Can the veteran catch him?
It was a quick week, so we didn't really get to go through everything that we're trying to throw at it. So, we're going to find out today exactly what the bike's going to do. And we had some inclement weather up in Michigan, so just weren't able to get to it. But the cooler weather's never bad for the bikes, I don't think. So it shouldn't affect me. It should be all good. I mean, I'm from Michigan. I can do hot or cold. Need to win. That's, the way the points are right now. I need to win races. Dallas, he's won the last 3, and if he stays on this streak, then it's, there's nothing I can do except for win races to try to climb my way back. We've been trying to catch up. We've got some more stuff we're throwing at it this week, so I'm excited to see how this weekend turns out.
Wiles had the points lead, but he's gone 14-13, 3-6 in the last 4. And Dallas Daniels has gone 2-1-1-1 in the last 4 races, and he's out front again here in his qualifying semi.
Yeah, Daniels isn't slowing down at all with a 10 bike length lead there at the finish of this semi over his title rival, Henry Wiles. The kid's off to another great start here in Atlanta.
Stinson Yamaha team happy about that. So those are results from the first semi. We go to semi number 2. Morgan Mishler in a 13 getting out front early.
Yeah, Mishler with a great start, loves to run the wide line. A little lower here off the start, defending, but the track's starting to pick up speed, and so is Morgan Mishler. He's looking real solid for the main event.
Good gap over Mikey Rush. That is Dallas Daniels' teammate. Finishes up in second. You can see the rest of the results there. So we have seeded the field for our singles class main. It's about as close to a must-win for Wiles and the rest of the field as you're going to get. Not for the series finale, because Daniels is pulling away and grabbing all the momentum. Maybe Morgan Mishler is the rider to stop him tonight after winning his semi. Let's send it to Kristen.
Chad Coase and the Wally Brown Racing Suzuki team last visited the podium in Volusia early on in the season. When I spoke with him earlier in the day, he told me it's been a minute, and that is just too long. He said that he's only focused on the win tonight, and obviously he's going to have to work hard to get towards the front of the pack, but it is so important for him to steal a win before the season concludes. He is racing against the clock with only 6 races remaining. Chad doesn't want to let this team down. He said, I can see how hard they're working week in and week out, developing this bike. And guys, he was 3rd quick in qualifying. I'm certain Chad Coase will work his way forward in this race.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. Started the year with 2-4 finishes, but is now all the way back to 9th in points. Here is your lineup. What do you think? Going to be more Dallas Daniels, or can someone stop this kid?
Well, Morgan Mishler had the fastest semi, earned the pole position. He might be in a position to give Daniels the fight we've been looking to see.
Because right now, Daniels quickly maturing from amateur phenom to rookie pro, now in his first full season and his second go-around racing these riders, has become the dominant figure on the 32. Let's go racing here in Atlanta.
Good start for Mishler up the inside, makes it into turn 1 first. And Mikey Rush rushes into the corner with a good start as well.
Yep, and you've got Wiles in there in the number 17 also, so a good mix of talent early in this one. And we're going to see now how this racetrack has developed after qualifying.
Well, as the sun has set, that blue starts to disappear just a little bit. That's a little bit of moisture that's getting in there and kind of peeling a little bit of that rubber back off the racetrack, back down to the more bare dirt. So we're going to start seeing riders chase this racetrack all over, up and down, and try and figure out a way to get through these corners, because getting through the corners is what's going to get you to the front.
Well, there's your example right there. A couple of looks down to the inside the last few laps from Daniels trying to get around Mishler.
Yeah. It's interesting. Mishler loves tracks where he can run the high line, but here he is in the lead, and he's actually in a little bit of a defensive mode. Oh, there he is. There he goes, back up to the high line as he and Daniels go side by side, and they get close coming off a turn 2.
Well, Daniels keeps running these low lines. If you're Mishler, do you trust the high line, or do you eventually want to get down there and block?
Well, I think it's a little too early to be defensive in this race. Daniels, he likes to get to the front, kind of slides up the track a little bit. They go side by side down the back straightaways. We look out the back of Dallas Daniels.
Oh, that's the pass and lead right there. Now Mishler's going to try the inside to get him back, side by side.
That was interesting, because that was kind of like a slide job pass there by Daniels. He came up the inside, slid up, gave Mishler room to be able to turn and come underneath as their lines converge now down the back straightaway. That makes me a little nervous there.
If you think that's close, it's close. Max Whale and the 15 of Rush battling here. Rush had a good start, has now gotten swallowed up, and is now fighting for top 5. Daniels has the lead, but Mishler is not letting him go.
Now, Morgan has been riding well all year long, hasn't really found his way to the front very often, but here he is side by side with Dallas Daniels with the first opportunity for him to win as he does a slide job up the inside. Daniels turns underneath. 2 distinct lines around this Dixie Speedway. This is what American Flat Track's all about right here.
I love it. That's 2 or even 3 times that Mishler's taken the lead. Daniels then squared it up, got back underneath, to retake the #1 spot. Good racing between these two.
Yeah, and it's great to hear the sound off the back of Dallas Daniels' motorcycle. This racetrack being D-shaped is a real big compromise on gearing. We listened to Daniels' bike hit the rev limiter just past start-finish, and he stayed on it all the way into turn 1. The back straightaway starting here coming off of turn 2 is much shorter. So gearing is a big compromise, and it's something that the riders have to adjust to.
Mishler trying to adjust to the line choice of Daniels to retake the lead. Two young talents battling for the #1 spot. Stay with us. Battle continues here at the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track presented by Law Tigers. And Dallas Daniels quickly took the lead from Morgan Mishler, but Mishler has not let him go. And a couple of separate packs. Cameron Smith, haven't seen many appearances from the 44 toward the front this year, but he's got a good one going on the outside, battling it out with Brandon Kitchen on the 105 and the 18 of Max Whale.
Yeah, that's a great battle. Haven't seen, like you said, haven't seen much of Cameron Smith. He's had kind of a tough year, a lot of mechanicals, hasn't made the main event a whole lot, but this is his kind of racetrack. Growing up in eastern Pennsylvania, he's familiar with the red clay like we have here in Atlanta.
Back to the leaders, Daniels and Mishler. They were exchanging the lead for a while. Now it looks like Mishler's on a mission to figure out a different strategy, because every time he put an attack on, Daniels was able to get it back from it. Yeah, it was interesting that last time through 1 and 2, Mishler went way to the outside, trying to create momentum early and ride the rim like we've seen him do so often. And Daniels kind of goes in wide, entering, and then turns much sooner and kind of goes straight through the middle of the corner. Henry Wiles was all alone in third, but now this pack has caught him, and he is under pressure from that battle. We saw Kitchen, we saw Smith, a couple other riders in it, Max Whale, and now they're attacking Wiles.
Yeah, Kitchen just running up the inside there, makes the pass going off into turn 1. These two, they first kind of came together at the Indy Mile, where Kitchen was able to pull out the win on night 1 there. Here they are, two Michigan riders going at it in Atlanta. Nice close battle there with Trent Lowe as he goes up underneath and moves up a position into 5th.
Yeah, nice story building there with Trent Lowe. He is considered the next big thing. If Dallas Daniels is the recent amateur grad, then Lowe even coming in the next year. And he's learning this season just like Dallas Daniels did last year at number 48. It's showing some potential here.
Yeah, he certainly is. Riding for the Roof Systems of Dallas team, doing a good job. Trent Lowe is coming into his own as an AFT singles competitor.
I was about to say that Dallas Daniels coming into his own by himself, but no, Mishler's still in the shot and still putting the pressure on.
Daniel's going to have to keep the hammer down. Any small mistake, and Mishler's there to capitalize.
Meanwhile, Mikey Rush, you can see top of the screen all the way back to 12th after starting on row 1. So one Estenson Yamaha rider who you expect up front having problems. The other one leading. 2 laps to go. It's the Progressive race to the checkers. And I don't know, has Mishler got anything left for him?
It looks like Dallas has just enough a gap here to maybe back it off just a notch. Be smooth with the white flag coming out. Morgan Mishler put in a great race, as most anybody's pushed Dallas Daniels here in recent weeks.
But Daniels looking for 4 straight race wins. Look at this battle here.
Trent Lowe up the inside of Henry Wiles there to grab 4th.
Wow. All right, Daniels has got it. Wheeling to the checkers. 4 straight wins and a further stretch of that points lead. Meanwhile, coming across the line, that was Wild. Wiles got pushed back to 5th. Lowe got him for 4th. And a nice ride by Brandon Kitchen to put it up on the podium in 3rd. But that's the other story. The main headline is going to be Dallas Daniels keeps on winning.
Hey, this kid is special. You know, we've obviously seen it with this 4th win in a row. Best talent in AFT has seen probably since the late Nicky Hayden 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's a big statement right there, but what can you say? It's his first full season. He now has 6 wins on the season. As I mentioned, 4 straight. Morgan Mishler, who's won races in this series before, solid for 2nd. There you see Rush, the disappointment, back to 12th, and Smith gets shuffled to 11th. A lot of action out there on the racetrack, but Dallas Daniels handling everything.
Dallas Daniels, 4 wins in a row, leading 17 laps. And Dallas, this is your debut race at Atlanta. To come to a Grand National track like Dixie Speedway and take the win here, what does that mean for you in your season?
Just shows how strong the team is, and how good our motorcycle is. I mean, all year we've just been dialed in, we can show up somewhere new and we can be in the hunt from the beginning, which has been a problem for me in the past, but, we figured it out. And really that race, it was kind of, I don't want to say good, but kind of good that I was able to kind of get off behind Morgan, kind of watch him a little bit. I was able to search around and finally found a time to get by him. And I thought maybe tonight the track was getting a little slippery because it's so cold outside. It was going to be hard to go to the top, especially on a single. It'd just be really hard to roll so much momentum up there. And it's awesome. 6 wins on the season, 4 in a row. It's awesome leading, but it's kind of stressful just because you're in the position now where the championship's sort of in reach, but you don't want to think about it, but it's definitely there, and it's going to be hard to get it with all these fast guys, but it's been a blast, and I can't wait for the rest of the year.
Wow, some high praise you gave Dallas Daniels. How about this? Jared Mees coming over to talk to the kid.
Yeah, probably saying, hey, congrats. Hey, how's that racetrack out there? He's picking his brain. He sees this kid going fast and going to try and learn something for his race.
So a 5-time Super Twins champ is asking a 17-year-old for advice. You know he's doing something right. The points prove it also.
Yeah, opening it up. 45-point lead with 5 races left. That's almost insurmountable. Henry Wiles and Mikey Rush are going to have to get to work to catch that kid up top.
Yeah, Daniels has to avoid the mistake. Meanwhile, let's go back to Kristen with second.
Morgan, a tight race between you and Dallas Daniels. I saw you kind of searching, and off camera you and I were talking, and you said you lost time experimenting with different lines. What did you learn here in this main event that maybe you can apply to the next round?
The toughest thing about racing dirt track that isn't really explained well is that it's a battle of wits. What you can do as a rider, and it's a battle of lines. If you have the right line, you can hold off just about anybody, but it's finding that right line, finding that right combo. It's definitely something that you got to acquire over time, and it definitely sucks getting second again. But it's awesome though. We've had a little bit of a rough start, but we're picking it back up.
Way back in the beginning of this championship, round 3, Brandon Kitchen took the win. Now he's backing it up with another podium, but it was hard earned.
Yeah, that inside move there went by Max Whale and Cameron Smith, and later he ran down and passed Henry Wiles as well. He came from a ways back for that solid third.
Yeah, all right, so Brandon Kitchen showing he is legit. Let's send it back down to Kristen.
Brandon Kitchen with his second podium this season. The last time we saw you on the podium, you were winning at Volusia. Brandon, a big night for you and your training partner, Morgan Mishler, both making it to the podium. What allowed you to find an open door around Henry Wiles?
Yeah, I found a good line going through 1 and 2, so I was able to sneak by underneath him. When I was catching him, I was like, he's a tough dude to pass, so I didn't know how I was going to get it done, but got a good drive coming off 2 and got by him.
Well, a little over a year ago, the Estenson Yamaha team signed Dallas Daniels before he was even old enough to turn pro. He has proven that move to be a smart one because once he did get his pro license, he has been the dominant force in American flat track singles. Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Law Tigers. You never have to ride alone. By Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track, and by Progressive, official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. This is the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track presented by Law Tigers Progressive American Flat Track Championship. We move from the singles class to production twins. James Rispoli, 5 in a row, has blown this championship wide open.
Yes, he has, and Corey Texter has been second 3 of the last 4 races to James Rispoli. He wants to right his ship and get back into contention.
But man, what has changed for the man they call the Rocket, James Rispoli? Let's check in with him.
With 5 consecutive wins, I think, no, it doesn't build any pressure because I think trying to get to 25 points was pressure. Now I've got above that. I don't have any pressure. The pressure's on these guys. I mean, Corey's got to win 6 in a row to really win the championship. So for somebody like me, there's no real pressure. But yeah, we want to do goals of trying to get 6, trying to get 7, trying to get 8. I think at the end of the year, if we can get 11, I think that would be a dream season. But at the end of the day, we can't expect it, you know? I think it was really good last weekend to kind of get slapped in the face during the day and go, hey, these guys still want to race, you know? So, and then in the main, we ended up winning, but it was a good wake-up call to know that, hey, man, you're not on a pedestal. You need to continue to grind and continue to work.
Yeah, and it is always tough in this production twins class. You never know when a crash might happen here, and we got one in the main event early.
Yeah, off the first start, Chad Coase on the 49 tucks the front end, collects Pat Buchanan, Danny Eslick, and a handful of others, including Cody Johncox. They all have to start at the back of the grid, those that can get their bikes fixed, and Texter with a great start to this one for him.
And Rispoli right behind him. Texter is the rider, as you mentioned, second in points. It really needs to get a win streak going now to maybe win 2 championships in a row, and then it gets a little crazy again.
Yeah, Buchanan I think from the incident had an oil filter come loose and spills oil on the racetrack. Red flag comes out. Rispoli finds the oil, finds the ground, and unfortunate for him as Joe Kopp goes to work on repairing his XG750R Harley-Davidson as best he can.
Well, you might be saying to yourself, the points leader was down. That's a big problem, right? But he did not cause the crash. So he gets his grid position back, which is second. Kopp gets the motorcycle fixed. So it could have been a disaster for Rispoli. Ends up just being a second-place start. But Texter proves tough on this night.
Yeah, Texter looked real comfortable all night. Looked really smooth, worthy of the #1 plate, and goes on to a convincing win. Pulling out some of the fastest laps of the night after that red flag.
Ends the win streak of Rispoli at 5 and keeps some slim championship hopes alive. Let's talk to the winner.
Corey, everything clicking for you tonight. Your second win this season, your first being at Volusia. How badly did you want and need this win tonight?
So bad. Points aside, I just wanted to win. Like, I worked so hard this offseason to get ready for this year, and to not translate to wins has been just a bummer, man. But James is riding real well, and I just wanted it so bad. It feels so good to put that Yamaha MTR7 on top of the box, and yeah, it feels great. I mean, only so much time to celebrate. We got to come back here tomorrow and try and do it again. But this feels like my first win ever. Like, it feels so good. Just when a team's that dominant like they've been, and to come out and fast qualify, win the semi, win the main, I'm really happy.
That's one Yamaha rider winning there in the production twins class. They'd love to win in super twins, especially here, because Yamaha's moved the majority of their corporate headquarters from California to Georgia, not too far. So let's chat with JD Beach and Colby Carlisle.
Racing in Atlanta is cool. You know, it's right in Yamaha's back door. I mean, it's probably just a few miles from their new headquarters, and it's cool. You know, we get a lot of Yamaha employees to come out here and see what they've been sponsoring all year, and actually get to be in person and watch it instead of on TV. So that's special for us.
It's really cool because the team is based out of Owensboro, where I live at. So it's awesome to be able to go to the shop and see all the guys working, and they're working hard all the time.
Here at Atlanta, you know, it's so banked that the biggest thing, you want to get like a gyro effect going, kind of like a yo-yo, you know, just keep building and building and building and never let your corner speed fall down, and it just keeps going around the whole track, and then that's how you succeed here.
It's a really different track. It's kind of short, it's really banked, and then the dirt here changes a lot. For me, it's fun just because you're always kind of chasing something, and I think the tracks that have a lot of banking are fun too.
One other thing to factor in beyond the motorcycle is the tire. So here's Dunlop Tire Talk. Chris?
Yeah, Dunlop DT4s, R5 soft compound will be the choice for all competitors in our 3 classes here tonight. Maybe different tread depths will be a choice for some riders, different air pressures, but for the most part, they'll all be on the soft compound.
Well, that'll even the playing field, and we're set for another Breyer, Bauman, and Jared Mees matchup. Can anyone else get in the mix and fight for the win tonight in Atlanta? Progressive American Flat Track here on NBCSN. We're just about ready for our Super Twins main event, the Atlanta Short Track. Could they change to a different track surface, change the results? Here's Kristen.
Guys, Jared Vanderkoy has this lighthearted, just lucky to go racing personality, but when he flips the switch, it is game on. When I spoke with Jared earlier in the day, he was telling me that when the intensity is there, he's hard to beat. And while he may not have been in the mix as much as he'd hope here in 2020, over the next 6 rounds, watch out for Jared Vanderkoy and this Harley-Davidson to turn up the heat. He needs a validating finish. He wants to make an impression going into free agency, and this track has always been kind to him. Vanderkoy was 4th here in 2019 and 3rd in 2018. He has this place figured out, and the switch has been flipped. So, like Jared Vanderkoy said, game on, guys.
Yeah, he's always been fast at this track. Sammy Halbert's been fast at every track this year. He even has a win from earlier in the year on his Indian motorcycle. And there's Briar Bauman riding a points lead and a win streak. So that means pressure's on for Jared Mees to strike back tonight, Chris.
Yeah, Jared Mees is the kind of guy that wants to get in a fight. He's a high school wrestler, very successful. He's going to need to scrap with Briar Bauman in order to get this championship.
And Brandon Price has been fast throughout qualifying and practice. He will line up 3rd on the grid. And you see the rest of the field. 18 riders going to compete tonight in our AFT Super Twins main. And your title combatants, the 9 of Mees and the 1 of Bauman, elbow to elbow here as the revs come up. And the Yamaha Atlanta Short Track is underway.
Price had a iffy start there, got sideways, lit it up immediately. But out front, Carver from the 2nd row leads off of turn 2.
What a jump for Carver. Now quickly, no, not shuffled back by Mees or Bauman. It says 69 of Halbert.
Yeah, we were thinking the 1 and the 9 were going to be out front immediately, but man, Carver surprised everybody.
Well, he has the talent and the speed to win. So let's see if he can carry this around the outside. And Halbert's making life miserable and everyone else also. Right now, side by side for the lead.
Yeah, this track is getting racy as the night goes on there. Carver was going in low. Whoa, looks like Bauman got into the side of Mees there coming off a turn 4. Not quite sure how that happened, but man, that was close.
It is close. Almost 4 wide out of that corner. Halbert, Carver, Mees back ahead of Bauman. And how about the rookie, last year's singles champ, Dalton Gauthier, and the Harley up there in 5th, 79.
Wow, I know this is early in the race. We're in the first minute here, but man, this is the most competitive race we've seen all year long. Out front, Halbert stretches about 3 bike lengths. Who's going to be able to chase him down and come with him?
You can see Jared Mees. Oh, no, then Mees bobbles. I thought Mees was going to go after him. He almost coughs up 2nd to the 23 of Carver. And now Brandon Price on the 92 making moves.
Yeah, Mees goes down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Kind of finds Halbert's line there, inching forward towards him. Mees has always gone really good here at the Atlanta Short Track as Price and Bauman coming off at turn 4 get real close. They're both up the inside here on Carver.
Ooh, this is good stuff. How did Bauman make that work?
Wow, 1 went inside, 1 went outside. Brandon Price, great power move around the outside in turns 1 and 2. Not only does he go by Carver, goes by Bauman as well.
Now Bauman back around Carver. Price right behind him. Whoa, you see how close Price and Carver got thanks to the Indian motorcycle on board of Bauman.
Yeah, Price running the high line down there in 1 and 2 as we hear that Indian FTR. Bauman's hitting the rev limiter early down the backstretch. Side by side for the lead.
Yeah, we can see that Mees has caught Halbert. That was a determined effort for Mees to shake that group and shake down the leader now.
Yeah, it's great to see this racetrack develop into the multiple lines. Jared Mees doesn't have to follow Halbert. He goes in a little wide. See if he can create some momentum around the outside. Goes side by side as we look back. Price and Carver there for 5th.
Yeah, this is important for 2 reasons. Because first, Mees is about to grab the lead. No, Halbert, a great drive out of turn 2.
Yeah, these guys have some history here. Mees looked like he was going to try and turn under as those 2 go side by side. Bauman's getting in the mix as well.
I did not even see that. Bauman creeping up on this group. It's a 3-rider battle for the lead. Halbert doing a great job holding Mees off. You mentioned it. Yeah, there was contact between them battling for the lead here a few years ago. Might it happen again? Where did Bauman find that line?
Wow, went in real high, turned it in early, coming off of turn 4, chases all the way to the front. That's the thing I love about Briar Bauman. When the racetrack gives him something, he doesn't follow the riders in front of him. He finds a different way around the racetrack and makes it work.
So it's up to Mies and Halbert. We're on the SNS onboard to try to track him down. What happened there?
Wow, looks like Mies clipped a hay bale there at the very end of turn 4. Halbert might have pushed him up a little wide. Ran out of racetrack, but they keep on going.
Well, we cannot stress enough that these two will get physical with each other. Now Halbert sliding high, and Mies takes advantage.
Yeah, Halbert got into 3 a little hot, moves wide as we look at the replay here.
Watch the second place driver, the number 9 of Mies, going to get high and into that hay bale. Was it Halbert?
Halbert kind of moves him up wide. Mies runs out of racetrack, clips the hay bale, and keeps on going.
And now Brandon Price making his presence known as well. Good battle between he and Carver. This is for 4th and 5th, but not too far off the lead group.
Yeah, and 44, Brandon Robinson there in 6th, last year's winner here at the Atlanta Short Track, putting on a good show as well.
And good to see him back. He had a foot injury we thought might have lost him for the season. He's right back in this battle. He's making moves on the inside of the 44.
Oh, just saw Carver there woe up a little bit on the outside, slowing down.
All right, this racetrack is changing in a hurry. Could it change the battle for the lead? Stay with us. Briar Bauman leads here, Progressive American Flat Track at NBCSN, but Jared Mies has got a hook in him, and the battle between the two title combatants is on.
Well, I tell you, this is exactly what Jared Mies has been looking for. You know, earlier in the season, whenever these two got together, Bauman was able to outride Jared Mies, get away and go. Now, Mies looks like he's itching for a fight. Like I said before, he's a high school wrestler. He loves a good scrap. We'll see how good of a racer he is on this one as well.
Well, yeah, with Mies and Bauman, it's been up and down. One has a good weekend, one has a bad weekend. We haven't seen heads-up racing with two of them at the top of their game on the same track on the same night until now. Bauman cannot shake Mies.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go here as Mies, great run coming off of turn 2 up on the outside. Ooh. Runs around him into turn 3. That was a solid power move there, but he overshoots turn 3. Bauman gets the lead back.
All right, so Mies goes to work on him again. It was chaotic. 5-6 riders battling for the lead early, but now in the stretch run, it's down to these two.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's almost going to be like a mile race. There's so many options here around this racetrack. It won't be about drafting. It'll be about who has the right line at the right time. These two going at it as they come up on lap traffic here. Dan Bromley goes a lap down. He wisely moves over, lets the battle at the front continue.
And Mies just feeling his way around, looking for the line. He had one, took the lead, but couldn't hold it. So he's going to try to figure out a different plan of attack. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, down to 3 minutes left here. Hasn't really put anything but a little bit of shadow in the peripheral vision there of Bauman. Mies might be waiting toward the end. He might be giving it everything he has. It's hard to say at this time.
You've got Halbert Price and Bronson Bauman, Breyer's younger brother, now battling for that final podium spot. See Bromley, who they put a lap down, he was surging a little bit earlier in the series. A rough night for him.
Well, this is a good run here for Bauman. Yeah. Had about 5-6 bike lengths there. That's a little bit of comfort now. Mies is going to have to dig deep in order to get up to the rear and put some pressure on Bauman, pressure him into a mistake.
Bauman, 4 race wins in a row coming into this one, and he has opened up a 1-race lead in the standings, so Mies knows what he has to do. As you watch the other Bauman tracking down Price, who is tracking down Halbert, 3 riders scrapping for third.
Yeah, haven't seen much of Bronson Bauman this year. I don't think he's been on the podium as of yet, but he's working hard. He and Price have caught Halbert now. There's going to be a 3-way scrap for the bottom step of the podium.
All right, this should be fun to watch, especially with all the different grooves on this racetrack. Bauman almost had a line on Price. Price made a mistake. Does that allow Bauman to get him? No.
Not quite. We see a lot of the riders electing to go way down to the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. And then kind of 3 and 4, they're kind of Bauman has committed himself to the bottom. Gets in a good initial run there up the inside of Price. Oh, that was close going in there. Those two side by side coming off of turn 2. Bronson Bauman gets the nod.
Almost getting physical there between Price. Oh, and it might get physical up front to the other Bauman and Mies. Mies
And
attack
Mies
again.
goes to the way. I hadn't seen him that high in turn one. Gets the thing turned, trying to get a good run down the back straightaway. The race is on with a minute plus 2 laps left.
Oh, you can see the hustle from Jared Mies, the 5-time Grand National champion, trying to get the defending series champ, Briar Bauman. It's the fight we wanted to see all season long. Wheel to wheel.
Side to side, coming off a turn 2. This is what Jared Mies has been looking for. He's been looking for a scrap with Briar Bauman. He's got it now.
Well, Mies needs the points. He cannot afford to let Bauman go over a full race ahead of him in the series standings, and Mies is throwing everything at him.
Yeah, this win is very important for Mies. A victory here, he leaves 20 points behind Bauman. Getting second to Bauman, he leaves 30 points down. Big difference this late in the season.
And don't forget the confidence. Bauman taking control. You know Mies is not happy about the 4-race win streak, and they almost hit.
Yeah, Bauman with a block pass there to move Mies up off his line just a little bit. Mies comes back, kind of does a slide job there. Bauman turns back under, goes real low off of turn 4.
Way low goes Bauman. It's the progressive race to the checkers. 2 laps to go. Bauman able to control the lead, but for how long?
Yeah, another block pass there thrown by Bauman going off into the corner. Mies goes, I'm going to have none of that. Slides back up on the inside. Bauman turns underneath again. Wow.
Oh, this is what we wanted to see. The white flag out. Side by side. Bauman and Mies for the win.
Yeah, it looks like Mies went in a little lower that time, not giving Bauman the opportunity to run up the inside, up to the outside, hits a wall.
Bauman the lead going in, but Mies gets it coming out now of turn 4. Can Bauman square him? It's side by side to the finish. Jared Mies, a huge win here in Atlanta.
Wow. That's the best Super Twins race of the year right there, bar none. That was fantastic racing by these two great champions.
And even Bauman had to give Mies the thumbs up just because the race was so darn fun. But this is huge. Mies ends the win streak for Bauman. He makes up points. And more importantly, he wins in a straight-up fight. Here's how he did it.
Yeah, coming off of turn 2, Bauman goes up high. Mies sees it coming, turns underneath, straight lines through the middle, picks up the gas, and Bauman not able to get the drive off of turn 4 that we had seen previously.
Last lap pass, like you said, it would turn out almost like a mile race, not with the draft, but with line choice. And you nailed it, and so did Mies. There was the checker.
That was an impressive race right there by those two.
Mies not done in this championship fight, not by a long shot. Bauman pushed back to second, and Bronson Bauman wins that fight with Halbert and Price take the final podium spot. Progressive American flat track racing at its best there, and you know Jared Mies is pumped. Let's send it to Kristen.
Jared Mies breaking Briar Bauman's win streak. Now, Jared, after that race, when you pulled off track, I saw you referencing your break. What happened out there?
The very first few laps, Briar came off turn 4 and basically just cut right down on the track and grazed my brake pedal and almost made me lose it going down the straightaway. This track is a big crisscrossing of lines because the front straightaway is actually like an arc, like a corner, so you don't know where it's going. And then we got dicey and he pulled back out on me and I changed my lineup and found something. I wanted to come in here and shake Briar's tree. Briar's been on fire the last 4 races. I mean, 3-4 tenths a lap faster than everybody. So more than anything, I wanted to get off and shake his tree the entire time. Whether he beat me or not, I just wanted to let him know that I'm not done yet. And we ended up getting it on, and it was probably the best battle we've seen all year in the Super Twins class. And big hats off to my entire team. They mean the world to me, and without them, I wouldn't be nobody.
That is good stuff from Jared Mies, and now back within 1 race of the series standings of Bauman up front with the confidence, momentum, all of that. Said he wanted to shake the tree, actually took it down tonight. We'll talk to Bauman next. Progressive American Flat Track on NBCSN is brought to you by Vance & Hines, the presenting sponsor of AFT Super Twins. The Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track, and by Progressive Insurance, the official insurance sponsor of American Flat Track. And there's a change in the series standings. Mies was down 25, but by beating Bauman, he closes it down to 20. Really wasn't just about math here. That was heart, determination, everything you want to talk about on the racetrack. Although the good part for Bauman is, I think he enjoys a good race, even if he doesn't come up out front. Here's Kristen.
Breyer, at one point during that race, you went from third to first. Slide job after slide job, handlebar to handlebar with Jared Meese. But what I find most intriguing, you've now performed better on most tracks that in 2019 or 2020 we might have not expected you to be a factor. But again, on the podium here at the Atlanta short track, what is so different about this season for you?
Beating a dead horse here, but I continue to just try and improve in areas that I lack. So my team's done everything they can to help me learn. I'm learning about the motorcycle. Last year, I think we lost by like 3 seconds and took third. This year, we led the last lap. We almost had it, and yeah, we just missed a little bit. I think that a few changes tomorrow, hopefully more racing like that. Honestly, I mean, I've checked out a few times the last few races, and it gets kind of monotonous. So it felt good to do that. Give the fans, the people watching, like, they deserve races like that. When we have tracks like that, it just shows what our abilities are capable of. Congrats to my brother for rolling up on us, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm excited.
Yes, that is true. This is the first leg of a doubleheader here in Atlanta, so hopefully we get good racing like that when we go green flag racing the next time. Let's check in with Bronson taking third.
I think we proved we found some communication today, because all day we were kind of in the doghouse, not really going forward, and we turned it around, you know. Can't ever lose faith in the people you have the most trust in, and, you know, I have the most trust in Dave Z and my entire team, and everyone, thank you for having faith, and it feels great to be back up here again.
Wow, so that hopefully just setting the scene for what will be another classic here from Georgia. And our next race, we'll have it Saturday, October 10th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Finally, we got to see it. Breyer versus Jared, and it was good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that all year long. We saw it a little bit at the Indy Mile, but this was a bonus right here. This was fantastic race. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, multiple groove racetrack definitely led to good battles. Corey Texter wins in production twins. Dallas Daniels again in the singles class, and Meese in a classic duel, which is number 9 out front. So for Chris Carr and Kristen Beat, I'm Jason Blackhead. Thanks for joining us. Jared Meese wins in Atlanta.
Attention race fans, attention racers, attention race fans. Due to the continued and anticipated rainfall at Texas Motor Speedway, the 2021 Mission Foods Texas Half Mile presented by Roof Systems has been canceled. Despite the dedicated efforts of the Progressive AFT track prep crew, the heavy rainfall expected to continue throughout the evening will prevent the event from continuing on Sunday. Fans who have purchased tickets may receive a credit to be used at any race promoted by AFT events within the 2021 calendar year, including the June 18th and 19th Oklahoma City Mile doubleheader just 3 hours up the road, or a refund will be for the canceled event. Customers who have purchased advance tickets will be contacted directly by AFT events with further information. Progressive AFT will continue its season next week at the Chicago Half Mile in Joliet, Illinois on Saturday, May 29th at the Dirt Oval, Route 66. Once again, this event has been canceled. We do apologize for that. Everyone, please drive safely going home. Don't forget, we'll see you next weekend at Joliet. I'm Scotty Dubler signing off. Remember, you don't have to go straight home, but please go home straight.